Are we live? Are we live? Is it live? How does it look? Does it look good? Okay. Okay, what's going on? I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so Oki's taken, had to go to the restroom real quick. And then he's gonna come back, and we're gonna have a great time. How does everything sound? Does it sound good? Give me like a 1-2 in the chat. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Good? A-okay. So, I've been on YouTube for about a year. I met a lot of people. You know, cool people, not so cool people. And I gotta say, one of the coolest people I've ever met is Oki's Weird Stories. Probably one of the chillest guys I know. Oh, so, I've been around, yeah. So, Oki's gonna be coming on. It's gonna be talking about... So, I've actually been hearing about this Super Space Soldier program, Infiltration, since back in August. I did a live stream back then. Oki came on. We talked for about an hour and a half. He was telling us all the details, getting into it. So, let me present to you Oki. Let me put him in real quick. Discord. So, we got Oki. He's taking a little break, as you can see, but he's going to be right back, so it's all good. So, I wanted to bring Oki on because there's not too many times where you put out a YouTube video and you get this, like, massive reception from everyone. He's been getting... I mean, he had Moist Critical, the man himself, talk about this video, which is absolutely insane. I mean, how many times do you get a guy like Moist Critical to make an entire video going over what you're doing? Am I a super space soldier? I like to think that I was. I mean, when I first heard about this from Oki, he was talking about it back in August, I thought the whole thing was pretty cuckoo. And he didn't have the whole idea of going out to Vegas yet. His whole thing was just try to meet with the guy, you know, meet with him online, kind of infiltrate the thing a little bit. But I gotta give Oki a lot of credit because he went above and beyond what most people do on YouTube for something like this. Normally, they just read Reddit threads and, you know, other kind of stuff and call it a day. But Oki decided to fly out to Vegas to go meet the guy. And I just gotta give him so much credit for that. I mean, right now in the middle of a pandemic with all the vaccine stuff and the passports, getting all of that to go to Vegas. So today we're gonna be talking mainly about Oki with... I have a list of questions kind of going over just some questions I had about the video. And then at the very end, we're going to be doing a Q&A. So if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. We're going to get them answered at the end. So not now. Wait till the end. So big thing is, you know, Oki, he just went above and beyond for this video. It really just blows me away. So I want to get to know more. So if the video we're talking about, it's infiltrating a bizarre conspiracy cult. If you haven't seen it, I'd recommend you go see that right now. So, the video, he infiltrates this conspiracy, blah, 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 goes to Vegas. Big grand thing.
I'm back.
Okay, so Oki's back right now. He's coming back right now.
Hello?
So, the main reason I wanted to bring Oki on was because this was an insane video to make. Going above and beyond, flying to Vegas in the middle of a pandemic, like I've already said. And mainly just... stuff that you didn't see in the video. And it's not that it wasn't good enough to not be in the video, but there's so much stuff about this conspiracy that you got to tighten it up to put it in a good video. And there's a lot of good things kind of that happened on the side. So,
yes,
we got Oki. Let's give him a round of
Hello.
applause. Let's give him a round
Hello.
of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. What's up, Vince?
What's going on? What's going
I'm very pleased to be invited onto your show.
Dude, I'm so excited to have you here, honestly. Because I saw you over on the Drip. And I wouldn't watch it right now. You could watch it at the end of the stream. You know, the stream's going to be saved, so you could obviously watch it then. So maybe sometimes it's like you learn about how a movie's made and all the little details about it, and then you watch the movie after, and you have so much more respect for the movie. That's what I recommend. So, the biggest thing I want to ask you, Oki, is you put out this video. Were you expecting this kind of reception to come back from everyone on YouTube? Like,
Oh yeah, I wasn't. I didn't know how well it would do. Obviously, like it's a very good video, so I expected it to do decently well. But yeah, this is it's better than I anticipated.
mhm.
The reception and yeah, the views and stuff, and it was really nice. Penguin's Moist Critical
Yeah,
reacted to it, and then he put it on his YouTube channel,
that's insane.
and that gave me a huge boost in views.
That's absolutely
Especially
insane.
yeah, especially after YouTube like age restricted it for no reason, and like that
Oh,
completely killed like all my views or whatever.
yeah. No, I think it was good with that. It's you know, because he's one where he talks about a lot of things, you know, but to actually make a review video about someone else's YouTube video, like I haven't seen that personally.
Yeah, yeah, he's done that before, where he like he'll show like clips from his live stream about a video you watch. But yeah, no, he gave me a very nice little like review, and he recommended it to people,
Did did
which was awesome.
did he talk to you like in the DMs or anything, or be like, "Hey man, I love this," or
I asked, well, when no, so we did talk in DMs, but it was after the age restriction, and yeah, I asked him for like help, but by the time he saw that, it was already resolved.
yeah,
He did offer to help, so
that's awesome. You got him on your side now. You know, like how many people can say that? You know,
it's cool. I mean, it's fucking surreal to be honest. You know.
was there anyone else that kind of I know like Sam Hyde retweeted that that tweet you put out, but was there anyone else that was pretty big that you were like, "Oh my god, this dude, you know, like my stuff."
Um. Well, I mean, I got a lot of nice people, like people saying great video, people I haven't even talked to before, like mostly like mutuals that I haven't spoken to before, but you know,
Hmm.
like I think so far the biggest, other than like Charlie, was I did the QAnon Anonymous podcast the other day, which is
Oh,
it's a
dang.
fairly big podcast, and like
Yeah.
I think that they have some like affiliation somehow with Chapo. And the guys from Chapo Trap House have been on.
Mhm.
By the way, Vince, I'm just gonna say something real quick here.
Yeah.
Uh, you gotta. So the stream title is Oki's Weird Stories. You spelt weird wrong.
Oh.
And then also like I think when I clicked the video, it wasn't showing the thumbnail that you made.
Yeah, I just made a here, I'm gonna
It's just showing our. So I mean, I don't know how long that would take, but
here
I liked how you had it set up before.
I
I could
here
just talk.
here yeah,
I
yeah,
can.
just so just talk okay, so why was it this because I'm sure you get a lot of people talking to you about, "Hey man, I got this crazy conspiracy," and then it's something kind of dumb. What was it about this one thing that led you to go, "You know what? I'm gonna go above and beyond and actually try to talk to this guy and then actually go fly out." But that wasn't the intention from the beginning, but what is it that you look for in a cool kind of conspiracy that makes you want to go down that path of like, down the rabbit hole?
Um. Yeah, for like every single video that I make, I always am thinking about like this. Do I find this funny?
Mhm.
Um, like my videos aren't explicitly like comedic or anything. I'm not like cracking jokes or anything. But for like every subject that I've ever covered, there's something about it that I find amusing. And also what I also look for is stuff like that I've never heard about before, stuff that no one's made a video about before, obscure shit. So this kind of like it fit my criteria perfectly, because there are so many funny clips that like the ones that I use in my video, a lot of them actually I cut out, but there's just so many funny things that you can find in these 3 hour long videos that they put out, these like interview videos where they're talking about their time in the secret space program and shit.
Yeah.
So like there was one clip that I took out where it was James Rink, the guy who interviewed me in Vegas, and he was talking to another super soldier, and
Mhm.
then James Rink's power goes off midway through the video, and then when he comes back, he's like, do you think I was just abducted right now?
Yeah.
And he was saying that seriously. Like there was no joke, and they talked about it for like 5 minutes about like when you're abducted, you see like a white flashing light, and there might be some missing time, and I'm not
Oh my
sure.
God.
Like I think it was like Monarch Solutions just abducted me, um, you know. So there's like stuff like that are like it's really funny to me, especially I love like cringe style comedy. Um,
Mhm.
you know, yeah. So yeah,
So, so do
I
you
picked this. It
feel?
was funny, and yeah,
So do
and
you
it was
feel any
scary.
kind of sympathy for these people? Like, do you think this is something where their lives are so boring that they want to, because pretty much it's like these lives they make up. It's like they're so much more interesting than real life, and it's like, do you think that happens because of like a longing to just, you know, people are just bored with their lives and they give themselves some kind of direction and greater purpose?
I assume there's a fair bit of that. There's a fair bit of like there's the role play aspect
Yeah.
of it that I'm sure people they recognize that and they use this as like a way to LARP as a space marine basically. But then I think that there's also a big contingent of that community that have obvious like mental health issues.
Yeah.
Um, and someone like James, the guy who interviewed me, I genuinely believe that he believes all of it. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't think maybe there's some element of a grift, but I don't think that he's a grifter. Um, that's, I assume so, right? I think he genuinely believes this stuff, and he's dedicated like 15 years to this particular subject, and he interviews all these people. He has like extensive notes on all of their stories, and he's written a book about it. Like he really
It's written a
cares
book.
about this, and
Huh.
yeah, I have his book right here.
Oh my God.
It's his book.
Lone Wolf.
Yeah, and then
That is so funny.
he signed it for me too. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
My webcam's kind of shit, but yeah, he's really into it. I think that he believes it, but then there's obviously other people. Like there's this guy Corey Good, who pretty much he's like space Jesus, because he's humanity's conduit between like with this blue bird alien race called the Blue Avians.
Mhm.
And he's, because of his intuitive empath abilities, he's able to communicate with them. No one else is, but he is, and they're gonna lead humanity into like fucking the fourth dimension or something. They're gonna become like fourth. Oh god, I forgot the term that he uses. Oh, fourth density beings or something like that. So that guy's like grifting like crazy. He
So,
sells like courses about how to ascend.
mhm.
Him and his other guy, his friend David Wilcock.
So do you think this is just one giant grift for a lot of people? Not for
I
a
mean,
lot of people, but is it like every?
for the
I guess my
oh no,
question
sorry.
is like, so you obviously, like in a small community like that, you have people at the top that are selling the courses, the books, doing the conventions, and then you got all these people below. But is everyone, like, when you get into the super, I guess my question is like, do you see this more of like kind of a grift with a lot of people, and then some people like truly believe it? Like, is it normally like everyone that's kind of in it is like, oh, I have a book
Well,
about
so
my experience, or I'm selling this mind
that's
reading.
rare.
Rare?
No, that's rare. That's rare. So there's Corey Good, who's like top grifter, right? And then there's David Wilcock, and Murray Smith, like pretty much any of the top guys. They're the ones who have shows on that crazy website Gaia.com, where they're
They're all on
talking about.
Gaia?
They're all on Gaia. This is like a lot of this. This is how it like blew up in
Oh,
popularity. Was once Corey Good went on Gaia and had a show called Cosmic Disclosure.
because that
And yeah,
Gaia, like, oh yeah, I've just heard wild things about Gaia. They allow like just the kind of content that they allow on there.
yeah. I mean, it's they produce it too. It's just all a bunch of like crazy, insane, new age alien stuff, basically. And there's a whole part with the secret space program section, like a category there. And yeah, so Gaia.com is where a lot of these guys have their shows. Those are the big ones. These are the top grifters. These guys write books.
Mhm.
They do convention. They're always on the convention circuit. They're, you know, like Corey Good selling courses to Ascend. The other guy, Captain Randy Kramer, who also has a show on Gaia, he like was like, oh, I have a $70 billion investment plan. We're gonna bring med beds, which are these beds apparently that can like heal any ailment
Med
and
beds.
stuff. Yeah, and people
God.
are waiting for that technology to come out. Like people are putting off their cancer treatments because of these med beds are supposed to come out and like completely heal them.
Mhm.
Right. And Captain Randy Kramer, even though he said he has $70 billion, like a whole investment plan for this stuff, he's like, oh, can you give me $75,000 on my GoFundMe while I work on it? You know, like, so this guy's a grifter. Corey Good, there's like a dozen or so people that I could think of, and then you have like the B tier people like James Rank. I don't think he's a grifter, but he does have like he has the most popular YouTube
Mhm.
show for this. And
So.
then there's like people in his like around him
Mhm.
in his circle that also are at that level, but they're, you know, they're writing books, they're going on shows, they're going to conventions. Like the people who spoke at the convention I went to, those guys are all like the B tier.
So
uh
what's the breadth of this community? Like, how many people would you? So at that convention, I know a lot of there was the empty room. The rooms were kind of empty somewhat. Do you know how many people were scheduled to go to that convention or that went to the whole thing in general?
James said that there would be like 200 people. Like he said 200 people bought tickets,
That's a
but
lot.
the whole time we were there was never more than like a dozen people in any room. Even the big
Yeah.
convention hall like was almost completely empty. I would say like there was at like maximum 30 to 50 people, something like that,
Mm.
at any time. And like also a significant portion of the audience were also people who were speaking at the event. So yeah. um
So
yeah.
uh, my question. So I mean, like, because I was thinking about this the other day, but it's like to rent out a hotel room, little convention room like that, like a speaking room, and then have multiple rooms, like the spoon bending room. That
Hmm.
takes a lot of money. You got to put up like a couple grand.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
someone's paying for all of that up front. And if 30, 20 people went, I mean, it's like,
Yeah, I would assume that it's all like the speakers got together and put up the money
yeah.
for it. But they were like the tickets were like $200 a day.
Are you
I
serious?
think
Wow.
yeah. It was very expensive.
So how was meeting uh James Rink in person? So you obviously talked to him about the conspiracy and you did like the reading. But kind of outside of that, like, does he do this full time for work? Is he kind of like a weirdo? Did he have any hobbies? Like, I don't know if he talked to him a lot outside of the reading, but
He was kind of strange in real life. He was very standoff. I thought we got along pretty well on when we were doing the hypnotism regression thing that I showed in the video
mhm.
over Skype. Like we chatted before and after that, and I thought like we got on pretty well. But in real life, he's like kind of yeah, very shy, timid, doesn't speak much, standoffish. Um,
What'd you guys
not
talk about?
very nothing, nothing. You don't even like joke around him. Like I remember Night Doc saying something like that. When like he pointed it out, he's like, this guy has like he has no levity at all. He's just like really serious. But then later on, we actually during a talk, someone mentioned that they have autism and that James also has autism.
Mm,
So perhaps that's what it is. That's why he was kind of like that. But it was like really cool, yeah, getting to meet him, especially like
yeah.
this guy. you know, not only just watching the interviews that he does, but like actually actively studying them
Yeah.
and like taking notes and shit and like doing that for months. I was like, oh my god, it's finally I met you. And then like I also know a lot of like personal details about his life because I read his book, which like, you know, a significant portion of that is like autobiographical. I don't even know how to say that word right now. How the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, biographical, autobiographical. Okay,
So,
yeah, there you
was
go.
he in the military or something, or what's?
No, no, no. Most of these guys aren't in the military, and even if they say that they were, they're just making it up.
Mhm.
There was okay. There's one guy who goes on James Rink's channel and who was at the convention. Yes, that guy was actually in the military, and he also he's also an ex UFC fighter. So there's
Oh,
like,
dang.
you know, sometimes they're actually telling the truth, but like Captain Randy Kramer, for example, he said he was in the Marine Corps. You know, he has no service records, you know, so
So when it,
you know, it's cap.
the one thing I kind of, so obviously like the funniest part in the video was at the, towards the end where he's like, well, for black people they have a different type of brain, or what was it?
Yeah.
He was like, we're,
They have a different protocol for brainwashing.
yeah, like normally black
I,
people have a different type of protocol for brainwashing.
I
So
forget what
in that is,
he said after that.
oh,
Sorry.
I know,
Yeah,
not.
I don't.
But no, I was just gonna ask more about So what I thought was because a lot of this theory is based on like the whole kind of like that, not like after World War II, the Nazis went to the moon and that's where they did their thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So was this kind of, I'm not trying to bring like race into this, but did you see this being more of kind of like that almost kind of like white supremacist kind of type thing or not?
No, I wouldn't go that far. I don't think white supremacist is, but there is like a racial element where like James kept trying to like ask me, are you sure you're not German? You
Yeah.
sure you don't have any German roots in you at all? Like he kept asking me questions about like my race, and he's like, well, you don't really see too many black super soldiers, not too many black people in the secret space program. You know.
Because
Oh
that lady
yeah.
that did the spoon bending too, I
I know she's
noticed.
not. Well, she's not in the secret space program. That lady was just like, I don't know, somehow attached to this stuff, but I don't think she would claim to be. There was some people. The whole thing wasn't only like the convention wasn't only focused on the secret space program. There was other stuff as well.
So what was the exact name of the convention?
Quantum consciousness in disclosure 5D events. Yeah.
So okay, so it's the breadth of the conversation was like that whole quantum, different dimensional stuff, and then the
Yeah.
super soldier thing is one aspect of that.
Yeah, I mean, there was like
Okay.
every single day that we were there, there were secret space program super soldier panels, but there was also other stuff there.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, is that lady? Is she a super soldier? Or whatever. But that's pretty
No,
wild. Because there's a lot of that. Kind of like with that whole mystical. With the crystals and
yeah.
like vibrations and different dimensions
Well,
and that.
the new age spirituality thing has really they've come together with the conspiracy theorists now, and you just find like usually someone believes in like if they believe in flat earth, they probably also believe in that new age spirituality bullshit, as well.
Mhm.
uh so there's a lot of overlap. It's like the QAnon shaman guy who's in prison, and he went on a hunger strike because they wouldn't give
Yeah.
him vegan food, and then he's also like a very new age spiritual guy as well.
Was there any similarities between the super secret space soldier, or I always call it super secret, but the super space program, and kind of that QAnon?
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a lot of overlap between those two?
Yeah. If you believe in the secret space program, like most likely you also believe like, yeah, we're a follower or still follow QAnon stuff. I know that Corey Good, the guy I was talking about earlier, the Space
Yeah.
Jesus guy, like he claimed to have like contact with Q, if he like a year ago or something. And he was also making like his own QAnon type what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? Predictions.
Oh, really?
Now.
Dang. That's just so wild how it's like, it's kind of like these little like subsects of society that you never really hear about, you know? It's like, and like the big thing that came out of my mind watching that video was what other conspiracy kind of like somewhat cult things are out there that we just don't even know about, you know? Because even if the Super Space Soldier program was only, I mean, it's got to be a couple thousand people, right?
No, I would say it's much larger than that. Well, fucking look at like James Ring's channel. He has like 73,000 subscribers. You know, and then Corey Good is like, you know, he's also has a significant following. That's like Corey Good. Some of his videos get like millions of. So there's a lot of people who believe in this shit.
Because you sent me
like
that.
I said in the video, it's growing.
Was it that BBC interview that Corey guy did, where he was like, not BBC, it was some kind of British interview where he was talking about being in the space program and the video went viral, right? Or no?
Wait, no, say that again. Sorry.
I think I remember months ago when we were talking about this, you were telling me about an interview that one of the top guys did in the Space Soldier program, and it was like with some big news publication, and the interview had like 1 million views or something like that. It might have been it might have been some. I think it was an abduction. Never mind.
Something like that. I'm not sure.
It was something like that. But so obviously, you know, a lot of people are mad on the super space program, you know, side for kind of, you know, making a mockery about what they believe in. What's exactly been the fallout from all of this?
Well, so I actually had I had one guy who he commented on my YouTube and my Twitter, and he's like, "Wow, you really the perception of black super soldiers in the secret space program. You really made it so it's going to be really difficult for more black whistleblowers to come out." Like, yeah, he got mad about that.
God, he did not say that.
Corey Good actually, he posted about the video on his Telegram, and his post was pretty much like, yeah, those guys are all liars, but you know, I'm not. I'm for real. I'm a real whistleblower. Another guy, Michael Sala, tweeted about it, and they were taking the angle of like, beware of the fake whistleblowers in the secret space program. But we're totally real, guys. And then I've been getting a lot of actual like believers in the conspiracy. Some of them are like saying stuff like, "Oh, I actually I enjoyed the video. It was a good video." And stuff like that. But then there's others who are like, you're so sad and pathetic, and you don't know the truth, or you're working for the CIA or something like that. James Rink, if you watch Night Docs' follow up,
that was good.
It's great. And he talks about it in his follow up where like James, I emailed him right after the video came out, and I'm like, yeah, just a heads up. I'm sorry, I tricked you. You know, I'm an asshole. You know, and then but then eventually he's like, well, unless you cease and desist, I'm gonna sue. So you know, all he's done so far is he's DMCA'd the interview that we did, and the hypnosis regression session. He DMCA'd both of those on my Patreon, but
on your Patreon. So he paid.
Yeah,
he paid for your Patreon.
No, I think because the title was like James Rink interview, James Rink session. So I think he just saw the title as it shows, because like on Patreon, if you're not subbed, then it's like it blurs it out except for like the title, I think. So he DMCA'd that. What else? And then a few days ago he wrote a post on his YouTube channel where he was like, like he called me like a psychotic demon or something, and said that I'm an agent of the Matrix. So
Makes sense.
yeah,
Agent of the Matrix.
yeah.
Were were you afraid at all of any of the fallout that you would get from all of this? Or you were just like, I mean, actually, if you
No,
were afraid, you wouldn't have done it. But
no.
did,
I assumed that I really thought that he was gonna DMCA the video.
Mhm.
I guess he tried. It probably didn't work. I did see he tried to he did like a privacy thing on the video,
Yeah.
like a privacy complaint.
Oh, I see.
But otherwise, yeah, not much except for the DMCA.
So has anyone contacted you? I know you talked about it for like a second, but has anyone emailed you and be like, or whatever, and say, hey man, I watched your video and I was kind of getting into this a little bit, and I realized what kind of a whole crack of hoo-hoo it is.
No,
No,
no, nothing like that. No,
because I saw a couple of
not that I've
comments.
seen. Maybe. I mean, yeah, it's possible that someone said that, but I don't remember.
Hmm. This is a big video. Big video. A lot of people talking about it.
Yeah, I remember when I was showing it to you.
So I got the pleasure of seeing this like
Yeah.
a month before it was out, and I was like, Oki. That's all I could do. I just kept clapping, and I was like, this is a masterpiece. And then Oki kept telling me, what were you telling me? You were like,
Oh, it's a banger. It's goated.
Yeah, you're like, I'm goated. I'm the goat.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah.
he is.
I was really excited to post it. That was like a few days before.
So that's obviously in the past now, you know? We
Mhm.
got the super space program up on the board of Oki stories.
Come on, Vince. It's the secret.
The super secret space soldier
No,
program.
where you no. So there's super soldiers, and then this is the secret space program.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, I get it.
No, you're good. You're good.
That's
Don't
why
worry.
I spelled weird wrong, you know?
Oh.
I'm not dyslexic, but I got some issues with that. Because
Yeah,
like a big part is I feel really sad because sometimes it's like, you know, it's like, I don't know. I'm not saying everyone that believes in QAnon has mental issues, but you know, a lot of it just preys kind of on that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, rather than trying to seek help with, you know, like a therapist or a whatever, psychiatrist, you're going to these people that are just feeding you the stuff. Like, the reason why you feel this way is because this happened to you, you know, thousands of years ago, and then you've been brought back, and it's so messed up. You know, it really is.
Yeah, it's these. It's not only that. It's like there's also a lot of these people and a lot of people who believe in insane conspiracy theories tend to have some sort of mental illness, and then they're vulnerable to like this kind of fantasy prone thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So then but then the algorithms on top of that are also like targeting them. So I think especially with the internet, you have more people than ever being fed this kind of stuff, and it's a concentration of a lot of mentally ill people being directed to this stuff.
So this is such a big video to drop. I mean, you spent a lot of time on this.
I did,
and I know there's a lot of pressure to kind of one up yourself on YouTube. You know, that's how Logan Paul went from making videos doing whatever to then going in the suicide forest, you know? Because he felt that need to one up every video.
Yeah.
Do you feel like right now for your next video, do you think you're going to try to do the same thing you did, but with a different kind of conspiracy or cult? Or do you think maybe, you know, what's kind of on your mind for your next video?
Well, okay, so all I'll say is it's about Jesse Lee Peterson.
Yeah.
Who is a very, very funny guy. He's basically like the real life Uncle Ruckus, but he has he has like a YouTube show and a radio show, and he interviews a lot of people, like actual like also famous people like Amber Rose has been on his show and stuff like that. And he pretty much calls them betas and says
Beta.
amazing. And he has a bunch of funny catchphrases, and he's extremely an extremely self-hating black guy, misogynistic, like everything under the sun. He does it. And yeah, so it's gonna be about him. I will
Nice.
say that going forward, at least my main channel, I don't think that I will be doing kind of like the older stuff that I did, like the kind of like like archiving a bunch of like stuff that happened in one video kind of stuff that I like. Now it's more, I'm definitely going to be adding myself like I did in this last video, a lot more, and doing stuff like kind of similar, but doesn't always have to be like that.
Because you're a really
Yeah.
personable dude, you know. It's like,
Oh,
kind of
thank you.
being on, being on camera. Yeah, I know a lot of YouTubers aren't about going on camera, but I just think it adds that next element of like, I don't know, relatability. That's what YouTube's all
It-
about. It's like if I had a
it
crazy
really
lighting
does.
setup and it looked all professional, like it almost, I don't know, it doesn't feel real.
So when I started doing these kind of stuff, like there wasn't many people like doing these kind of like short documentaries. And that was like like in 2017. There was like a few people, but like early on I was able to stand out while doing that. And then I started to realize that, especially more recently, there's a new channel like that does like chronologies of like internet lore, or just like making make short documentaries with stuff that they find online. And it's really easy to get lost in a sea of those of those kind of channels and just be kind of and not really stand out from the crowd, because just there's so many of them, and there's so many people who are really really fucking good editors now too, and everything's really on point. It's just like it lacks personality. So like it also, it's because of the type, like these like short documentaries where you're not on camera, where you're not playing a role in it, where you're just literally just what you do is find a subject, write a script about that subject, and record it, and then edit it without putting yourself in it at all. It doesn't really lend itself to like being personality driven, because people, what they're doing is they're watching it, they're watching it for the information. So what I want to do going forward is more stuff with me in like actually like playing like a major role in it, and like personality driven stuff. Like after this video, it was the first time like that like even on my subreddit, like I started getting like fan art, and there were people using memes that were centered on me in that video, like Space Samurai and shit like that. It's way easier to stand out when you're doing stuff like this,
because you're you at the end of the day,
yeah.
Actually, that was another thing I forgot to write down. So you could come up with anything you wanted to be, any kind of alien, probably just make up a race if you wanted to be, but you chose to be the Black Samurai. Why is that? Why the Black?
Because I have a katana. And
is that a real story? Like, was there actually like a Black Samurai, and there's like a history about it, or?
No, that's a real story. Yasuke, the Black Samurai.
Really?
They made a Netflix anime about it recently, but apparently it was terrible. I think I tried to watch the first episode. I didn't really like it. Actually, like the show Black Samurai was based off of his life too.
Oh dang, I didn't know that.
But like if I wanted to, I could have made up anything, right? Like I could have. There's one guy who goes on James Rink's channel, and he talks about how Guardians of the Galaxy, like it's based off of his life. They believe in this thing called like soft disclosures. So stuff that's in media is also real. And it's just like the powers that be are they're disclosing hidden information on through media. So I could have literally made up anything. Like
So that's
you
the
know,
Mr.
let's
Beast when you were talking
yeah.
about. So Mr. Beast was the thing in the media that so when you said Mr. Beast, you basically said my life is lived through Mr. Beast. That's what my life was in the past, or
No, 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 no.
no?
I was saying that Mr. Beast was in the special program along with me, and we were being trained by Kevin Spacey's clone. So there's like a bunch of like, so Tom Cruise is in charge of one of these space corporations. Cara Delevingne, or I forget how to pronounce her name. She's in charge of one of them. You know, so there's a bunch of there's a bunch of celebrities already added into it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the Mr. Beast thing wasn't even planned. It was just like, when he asked me, do you see anybody else there? While I was like being hypnotized, he's like, do you see anybody else there? And I'm like, and the first thing that occurred to me was Mr. Beast. So then I stuck with that when we did the interview at the end. Yeah.
So I got a good question from the Sleepless Artist.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was your most uncomfortable moment for you in this adventure?
I'm not sure. That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Most uncomfortable moment.
You can think about it.
Yeah, I guess it was when Night Dogs talks about it in his follow-up behind the scenes video that he did. There was a lady who was the assistant to someone who did like that did it like a crystal reading for him, and then afterwards she came up to us and she just like was like on the verge of tears and like so taken in like with what Night Dogs was saying, and she started hugging him and hugging me. And like, wow, you guys just really powerful stuff. Thank you. Like, and it was just like, yeah, that was very, it was strange.
Yeah.
Like how sincere and real all of it was for her, but at the same time, knowing that, well, I'm here to pretty much trick you guys and make a video about you.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like, it was an uncomfortable moment for sure.
So was there any moment where you almost kind of like talking with James that you felt like maybe you kind of blew it? Because I know in the beginning you were trying to get on a show, he wasn't responding back to you, but I mean, you had rehearsed everything so many times before you went in that you just like you were ready to go, right? There was no moments where you're almost like, I shouldn't have said that because I think I kind of might. I think it might be on to me.
There was two moments. I realized this later on that actually I got the lore wrong. The whole time I've been Kevin Spacey's clone, and I'm still saying it because it sounds better than Paul Serene. Kevin Spacey is a clone of Paul Serene. Actually, Criticals pointed that out when he was reacting to my video that I got it wrong, but James didn't notice that. And then also there was one point where James asked me, "How old is Paul Serene?" And I said, "Oh, he's middle age. He's same age as Kevin Spacey." And then he's like, "Actually, we have information that he's over 1,000 years old." So there was that moment.
That's so funny. So bringing Night Dogs along, he's a good guy, you know.
Yeah,
I like the guy
he's awesome, and you know what? He's like, yeah, he's been so helpful throughout the whole thing. Not only, you know, coming and you know, filming and whatnot, but also he's like helped me like the intro, like he edited that like the television intro. In the first minute. He made music. He made 2 like songs for it. He anytime I needed help, like he was available to answer any editing questions. Like, I mean, he must have watched the video like 5 or 6, maybe 7 times before it came out. Which also, yeah, you were also very helpful too. Like you watched it twice, and you watched it like really early on too, and gave me a lot of pointers that I actually implemented into the final thing. Like where you told me, do the have more of an explanation of the conspiracy before you get into the people involved. And I think that made the video way better. But yeah, Night
Yeah.
Talks was amazing. You were very helpful when
Yeah, anytime, man.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that was
yeah,
fun seeing the video. 'Cause it's just like you spent I mean, so we did a stream back in September, or I think it was August,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I was just talking about whatever, and then Oki came on, and it's all the way back in August, and he was talking about his infiltration into the conspiracy. He didn't want to say too much about it, but he was talking all about the SCP and there's the SCP or no? Not SCP.
SSP. Come
SSP.
on, Vince.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But we were talking about it all the way back then. So if you came on the stream all the way back in August, you
Uh-huh.
would have known about this conspiracy video. You wouldn't have been
There was
shocked.
one. There was one person who said I've been waiting since Vince's stream.
Are you serious?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
for real.
awesome. Round of
Yeah,
applause
and
to whoever that is.
yeah.
Because the biggest thing I liked from that video was that it kind of had this very, it's like that that all gas no brakes. Now it's called Channel 5.
Mhm,
If you guys haven't seen it, it's like this totally dorky dude. He wears like a suit from the Goodwill, and he goes to
mhm,
just like these weird events that people throw, and he just talks to them. And he's not trying to talk to them to like get him to say stupid stuff. Like he's not trying to do the whole like gotcha type thing, but he's
mhm,
letting just people kind of just talk what they want to talk about, and then he edits the whole thing down into like a little 8-minute clip, and it is just absolutely a blast to watch. Like he goes to the QAnon convention, talks to all the people, goes to like a crystal one, he goes to a fish concert, and those videos really remind me of this.
mhm.
And I feel like that's a style on YouTube that's not done enough, you know?
I um yeah, I did watch. I was actually while I was editing like the us going to the convention. I did watch like because I've seen all of his stuff already, but like
Yeah.
I rewatched it just like to get the the kind of like the what's it called, the flow of how he did it, and um to get inspired to do my own as well. But for the most part, like the actually it was the biggest inspiration for me in doing this, and actually also the Gay Frogs videos. This YouTuber Nick Robinson, who's incredible. Um, so I wanted to do something like what he does in his videos. Like he found this like lost McDonald's game, and
Oh, I I know
yeah,
who you're talking about. I love that channel, the Nintendo DS game.
yeah, and
Yes.
I mean he's subbed like all of these random kind of almost like seemingly insignificant mysteries, but the whole narrative of how he does it and the complications along the way. He his videos are amazing. Um, so that was also like yeah, when I did the Gay Frogs thing as well, it was me thinking like how can I do something like what this guy's doing. So yeah, and like I mean obviously he has his own inspirations as well.
Yeah.
Nathan for You, and I was watching a bunch of Nathan for You while making this as well. Um,
What was the channel? The guy with the DS game?
Nick Robinson.
So Nick Robinson, just for people that don't know, this guy makes these videos on like just little insignificant mysteries that you would have no idea about, and he could somehow pull like a 40-minute documentary out of it that just keeps you so entertained. So we did
Hmm.
this one about this McDonald's game that was on the Nintendo DS that only came out in Japan to like 3 McDonald's back in like 2002. And then he goes through like this huge adventure of like sending his brother to Japan, and then he brings it back, and then he loses the package, and I don't know, it's just such an entertaining thing. But
It was
he does
great.
these really interesting videos on like pictures, like remember that Microsoft bimbos,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
stuff
So
like
he went
that.
into
I love that guy's stuff.
yeah. I mean, he would have went to Japan if the COVID restrictions weren't a problem because he usually goes to Japan for his videos, but he found the original like where the business was on with his VR
Yeah,
headset and using Google Maps and VR.
that's even like a little,
Yeah.
even if it wasn't real, it's a good, adds a little flair to the story.
He's yeah, he's really impressive his work. So yeah, that was the inspiration for me going into it, and I want to do more stuff like that. he has his own thing, but like, and obviously our videos are very, very different. Not only in content, but like in style and form and stuff like that. But the idea of like actually like going out of your way, like fucking
Adding
doing
yourself
something huge,
into the
yeah,
story.
adding yourself, yeah, that was like what I was like, yeah, I want to do something like that.
Yeah, that was the. I think. I don't know. Just that whole style of video, it's not really done enough on YouTube, and I can see it just being. I think it's a cool like meta for YouTube. You know, this like put yourself in the documentary, kind of make your own adventure type thing. People love that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a few channels who are like, and like I mean, it's gonna be hard to like compete on YouTube soon. I think. I mean, there's always gonna be a space for like commentary or like short documentary stuff or whatever, but it's getting more and more difficult, and you know, people's budgets are getting more and more elaborate. Like fucking Mr. Beast is spending like $500,000 on like a video, like one video, like
But who do you think's making more money, Mr. Beast or Sniper Wolf?
oh, Sniper Wolf by
All day. And she's not.
probably,
She
yeah.
doesn't. She's just in front of a computer, just ratting off. But yeah, I don't know.
Whenever I sign in, whenever I'm signed off of YouTube,
Mhm.
and like you know, like I go on one of the first thumbnails I see is a Sniper Wolf or a Mr. Beast video. You know,
Yeah. Damn. So have
I
you
don't
had
even know
anyone?
anything about her. Sorry.
So the
Go on.
Jesse, or is it Jesse Lee Peterson, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is it about him that you're like kind of trying to, you know? Because I
Well,
think his stuff's
want to
funny.
keep that. I want to keep
You want to
that.
keep it secret?
I want to keep that to myself. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
But I do have a plan. That I think it's gonna make a pretty good video.
Okay, so we're gonna do Livestream Q&A. So if you guys have any questions for Oki, put them into the chat right now.
Beautiful.
So we're just gonna wait a minute because I think there's some kind of delay going on, but we all should be good. Oki, again, thank you so much for coming on.
Dude, anytime. No.
I'm having a great time. We always have a good time on stream, you know?
Yeah. Well, it started on your stream too, which is awesome.
That's true.
It's like we're bookending it.
Oki, what are your thoughts on Monster Mash? Is that a joke?
Like this, like, isn't that a show or?
I think
Yeah,
it's
that's
that
a
song.
show, right? The Monster Mash, but isn't it from that? Isn't that from like a show? I forgot.
Does Oki like the Toki?
Do I like Toki? I'm not sure. Like smoke
It's not
weed?
obliged to say.
No, I'm gonna leave that.
Would you
It's
say
from the Monsters.
He just say he didn't inhale. He didn't inhale.
Yeah, I tried it once, but I did not inhale.
What's your next move, Oki?
Jesse Lee Peterson.
Jesse Lee Peterson. Do you like sheep?
I
feel like you would like
love
sheep.
them. I love them. I wanna start a cult and get all the sheep to follow me.
Oki,
I
what's your
love
most
sheep.
difficult, expensive video that you've ever made besides this newest one?
Before this, it was the Terry Tilly series because I worked with the translator for that, and that was yeah. So that because there was a book and several documentaries that were only in French, and I wanted to have the whole story. So yeah, I worked closely with a translator throughout that whole process, and that was pretty expensive.
Going above and beyond. As always. As always. Next question. As you grow in popularity, does content like this get harder to do? Yeah?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, like I'm so far away from that I'm not sure. I'm not sure even like if I'm gonna continue to do like stuff where I'm, you know, tricking someone like I did in this video. I don't want to, you know, only become like fucking you know, yeah. I'm not trying to like ape like Sacha Baron Cohen or something. But for this video, I thought that was a good angle, so I did it. Yeah.
I think it's a great angle that more people should do. It's kind of like with that, yeah. Oki, what kind of videos? Oh, this is a good question. Oki, what kind of video ideas have you had that you had to scrape, and for what reasons?
Mm,
A good question. Good question.
I'm trying to remember.
Ula.
There was a few videos that like I got pretty far into, and then I stopped. But then I ended up just like making other videos, and then came back to it, like the Jesse Lee Peterson thing. I already had like a 15-page script written for it, and now I'm coming back to it now. The Dan Ninen thing, like it was an idea. I was gonna do that a year before that video actually came out. Usually, if like I'm gonna scrap it, I know pretty early on before I start really actually working like earnestly on it. So usually it's pretty clear that like something's gonna work or something might not work. So yeah. If I spent enough time and effort on it already, typically like even if I take a break, I'll come back to it eventually.
Here's actually the question that I have for you, Oki. What do you want people to take away from watching your video? That the infiltrating cult video.
I suppose like a greater understanding how like communities like this work and how they come about, and maybe some insight into their psychology, and also mostly I just want them to be entertained and find it funny, to be honest. That's yeah.
End of the day, it was fucking funny. Oki, what happened to your knife videos?
Oh, I had one on my main channel, where I pulled out like my knife, my sword and stuff, and my machete.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, because I used a song from Kickboxer and I got copyright claimed, so I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna unlist it. And people were like really confused when I posted that too. They're like, "Are you fucking going insane?"
Oh,
like,
I think
no,
I remember. That was like a year ago, right?
No, it was like
it was recently.
Yeah, it was in the summer.
I think I remember that, and I was like, "What the hell are you doing, Oki?"
yeah. A lot of people were wondering what the fuck I was doing with like the samurai stuff.
Well, you were practicing.
I was preparing for this.
You were preparing for this.
Yeah.
Damn. So who do you think's doing YouTube the best right now? Or actually, you know what? What? Yeah, maybe we can answer.
I mean, I can give you my favorites.
Yeah, I want to hear your favorites.
Yeah, so Internet Historian, I think he's the best. Let Me Know is incredible. Nick Robinson, like I mentioned. Frederick Knudsen, Exerbia.
Exerbia's good.
Who else? Fuck, I'm forgetting someone else.
Nick Ronson.
No, I already mentioned him. Those are like I feel like I'm forgetting someone, but off the top of my head, those are the channels where like consistently they put something out, and like immediately I have to stop everything I'm doing. I watch it.
Yes.
And they always blow me away with their content.
Yeah, especially Internet Historian. It's like, dude, I love that guy.
Hey Charles, what's up, dude?
Charles, what is good? Okay, another question. Do you think that it's good or bad that YouTube has suppressed conspiracy theory videos?
Yeah, that's difficult. That's a difficult answer. I think like from if it's good or bad, I think from YouTube standpoint, it's a good move for them. It's a good business decision. It's a good PR decision for them.
Yeah.
For the sake of like my own like entertainment and stuff. Well, it's not like necessarily they actually like got rid of all of the conspiracy theories. Like I showed you, there's the secret space program is alive and well on YouTube. I just think that like it's it's pretty easy to still find stuff like conspiracy videos on YouTube. You just really all you got to do is you got to go to you got to just sort by upload date.
Yeah.
And then you can find the craziest shit on YouTube. Like people are still posting all this shit. I think you can't you can't say like COVID. Like they have bots that will pick shit up really quickly, but like people are getting really sophisticated with it now. Like they won't say COVID, they'll say something else. That
Yeah.
they'll use another word. They won't say Nazi, they'll say NAZY or something like. It's alive and well.
I've seen that with like I think I saw a guy on Twitter and I guess it was like a Turkey Tom video or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said as a joke, he was like, "Oh, the vaccine is fake. The vaccine is so fake." It was some sarcastic.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that on Twitter. Yeah.
And then it took down the video for COVID misinformation.
Is that like Drewski or something? I think that's his name. I forget. I saw the post though.
Yeah. Because you see stuff like that, and then it's like, I don't know if you saw that thing with Spotify, how they're like, all the people are like banding together to be in like clean up the COVID misinformation.
Yeah.
Like with the Joe Rogan thing, and everyone's
I don't think I saw that, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I think it's generally in their best interest. Yeah, PR and business reasons. Like, of course they don't want someone writing an article about it, because all it really takes to get a company to buckle to anything is to get like a well-known journalist with a good, very renowned news outlet, to write an article admonishing the company for their decisions, and then they'll change. Look at fucking Pornhub, or that happened with that. YouTube, obviously. Yeah, but from my own standpoint, it's really sad, because I love conspiracy videos. I just find it endlessly entertaining to watch people say the most insane shit.
And it is. There's like I don't know, there's like an entertainment aspect of it where it's like you're watching it just kind of like, oh, it's kind of like science fiction, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like that
It's fun,
tipping
yeah.
point where it goes beyond the science fiction, and that it actually has like real world, repercussions, I would say. I don't know.
I'd argue that I would say that the companies don't actually care about what people consume. They more so care about what it's going to look like if people are consuming it on their platform, so they're not necessarily worried about that. And I personally don't even think that it's like you can't scrub it all from the internet, but if the people are going to find this stuff. But it is funny how hypocritical companies are, where their algorithm feeds this stuff to the people, but then they're like, well, even though we've been feeding it to you this whole time, and we know exactly the kind of stuff that's going to pique your interest, we don't want you making or sharing or discussing stuff like this anymore. They don't give a shit.
No. Yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny with the Spotify thing, because everyone's like, oh my God, Spotify is going to clean up their stuff with Joe Rogan saying all this stuff. But it's like, dude, if he was to say that
they're
stuff
paying him like $100 million.
But if he was to say that stuff on YouTube, his videos would get blocked. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know, like people aren't flipping out over YouTube's, their thing, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of, this is just such a weird, I never even heard of anything like this, and I don't know, it just makes me think, like, what other things are out there? Like, I'm sure I know there's like that conspiracy that people live in the earth, right?
Yeah. Well, like the hollow earth theory?
Yeah, like the hollow earth theory. And I feel
Oh.
like there's got to be like conventions for that, and just it's like the same thing,
Well, I mean, like if you believe in the secret space program, you're likely to believe in pretty much every conspiracy theory.
Actually, so was there any other kind of? It's kind of like these like if you believe in one theory, you're more likely to believe in kind of this one. So with the super space program, like, okay, you're QAnon, all the crystals and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
What was there any other ones that you haven't heard of that were kind of being mentioned a lot before? Like when you went to that convention, they were like, "Oh,
That's a good question.
have you heard of the brain transfer theory, where it's like my brain was transferred from a wolf, or I don't know." Like,
Well, I mean, med beds were a new one for me.
so what's a med
Um,
bed?
so they're from the movie Elysium, first of all, and like people are saying that med beds are coming any day now, and they can heal all. Sit in the med bed, and you got a broken bone, is going to fix that. You got cancer, it's going to fix that. And people are really excited about these med beds coming. And like I said earlier, that like they're putting off their like cancer treatments because they're waiting for the med beds.
That stuff's insane. So okay,
Yeah.
so you were talking about that. So there's a company that's saying they're gonna make these med beds, and then people are putting off cancer treatments to
Mm-hmm.
wait for these med beds.
Mm-hmm.
It's stuff like
Yep.
that is like, it's
But
like in the
that's the
beginning.
danger
I don't know if you
of
remember,
it.
like in the beginning of the pandemic, but people were selling these it's like a necklace that you wear, and then it was like this little like card of paper,
Mm-hmm.
and then they said the paper was coated in like silver, some kind of like silver dioxide thing or whatever, and that
Mm-hmm.
because if you wear the necklace with the card on it, it kills any of the COVID coming into your lungs, so you don't need to wear a mask. And they were super popular in like India, and there was
Jeez.
and then they banned them from even importing them to the United States because they were just like, this is ridiculous, you know?
There are people now who are like drinking pee
For what?
COVID for COVID.
No, dude, people are nuts. I
Yeah.
saw one video where they were like, the CBD cannabinoid has been proven to kill the SARS-CoV-2.
Yeah.
And blah, blah. It's like, dude,
It's
yeah,
insanity. Oh.
something that's literally a plant. It's for sure.
Yep.
That stuff's crazy.
Weed cures everything.
Yeah, that's always annoyed the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Well,
It isn't fun
yeah.
with the conspiracies being. I don't know, because some of them are really fun. You know.
They are fun, and I like watching them. And I mean, it's sad when it's sad that it's like it's getting more difficult and more censored stuff. But at the same time, I mean, I understand it from the company's perspective,
Yeah.
and I mean intellectually, I understand it from the perspective of like that it can be harmful to really fantasy prone and vulnerable people.
Yeah.
But I think something like the secret space program is, I mean, except for like the med bed stuff, it's harmless. It's
You
just
think so?
funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
I love that quantum spoon bending part.
Dude, I was so excited for that, and then she just fucking does like she did it with her hands. Yeah, I went to the like the restaurant attached to our motel,
Uh-huh.
and I swiped a spoon from there because it was quantum spoon bending. Bring your own spoon.
Yeah.
Um,
I think you said
she was.
they were.
Oh no, go on.
No, sorry.
They were selling the spoons to people who didn't bring it, 2 for $5.
That's the grift.
That's the
the grift.
grift. Yeah, it's
Dude.
insane. Yeah.
I think that stuff is insane. The quantum stuff.
The quantum spoon bending.
Just like all of the like, because there's kind of like this mysticism around like quantum, and like what it actually is, and I don't know, I just feel like a lot of people abuse like that name quantum, and they bring it into like, oh, it's like the quantum vibrational theory of Earth, and these crystals, and they'll heal you, or this water. I mean, you guys saw it there.
Yeah, that's the new age angle of all this stuff now. Yeah, there's a huge overlap between like the new age spirituality stuff and this stuff.
And that stuff's coming back hard right now.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
quantum stuff, like, dude,
yeah.
my sister was into that stuff. She gave me like, I still have it with me because I'm like, if it works, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's like this little like plastic pouch, and then it has like a little bit of this crystal, and a little bit of this one, and then she wrote like, this one is blah 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 blah, and it helps you with this, and this one is blah 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 blah, and it helps you with this, and I don't know, she's all into it, and
My favorite
weird.
favorite thing now is to look up Pleiadian channeling. Pleiadians are the Nordic extraterrestrials. And so there's people who channel them on their YouTube, and they like the Pleiadians speak through them, and there's so many videos where it's just like Americans channeling the Pleiadians in order to like complain about American politics, you know, and be like, the Pleiadians really don't like Joe Biden. You know, the Pleiadian leader is speaking through me, and he says that he's the Antichrist and stuff like that. It's just funny. Like,
The Palladian?
yeah,
How do you spell
like
it?
the Let me type it to you on Discord. Give me a sec.
Here, I'm gonna.
I think it's like that. Pleiadian. Okay, like that. I might be wrong in my spelling, but it should come up if you look that up.
Wait. I'm gonna put it right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Palladian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Palladian is they like channel.
Yeah, they channel these Nordic aliens, and then the Nordic aliens, through them, start complaining about like American politics. You know, so those are pretty funny.
How did you hear about that? Was it at the convention too? Or
Yeah, I came across it while I was working on this video. Yeah.
the Palladian agenda. You know what? Because I just remember when you first talked to me about this.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when you first came on, and I thought this whole thing. I literally, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this is kind of like, I don't feel like there's anything like to get out of this. You know, not get out of
Yeah.
it, but it just seems so crazy to me. Like, yeah, I don't know if it's real. Like, you know, whatever. But the way you like edited that whole thing, put it together, like the whole adventure of it, it was just like, dude, I love that video. I was honestly your best video you've done, man. That was good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think so as well, actually. That it's the best one so far. I want to continue to make better videos, for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll get some better videos going.
Mhm.
Okay, so does anyone have any more questions? I'm gonna be ending. Oh wait. For those of us that are miss watching conspiracy theory videos for entertainment, what are some of those secret keywords you mentioned?
Oh no, it's not secret. Like, is he talking about like the Pleiadians, or he's talking about how to find them on YouTube? What you do is like, if you just like search any fucking, like, just look up QAnon right now, and then on YouTube, when you search something up, you should be able to sort by date, and then what you do is like recent upload. You click that, and then you'll find like a bunch of crazy shit. That way, I mean, you can always just go to other alternate sites. Like there's like so much stuff on like BitChute, Rumble. There's a bunch of alternative sites that people go to now. Yeah, should be able to find them. I mean, they're even on YouTube. So,
Unknown Sad Potato, thank you for the $5.
amazing.
Get yourself a useless NFT. Maybe I will. Dude, okay, what do you think about the NFT thing right now? What do you think about that, man?
I don't know anything about it, to be honest.
You know something about it. You see it around, you know. You got feelings.
I know. It's from my perspective, it seems dumb to buy them, but you can make money, you know, selling them.
Do you want to hear something wild?
So, are you making an NFT?
I'm making an No, I'm not making an NFT.
Oh.
Okay, so Wikipedia. You know, Wikipedia, that's like, you know, I feel like they, whatever they say on a certain subject or topic gives it a lot of kind of like meaning on the internet, at least. So they've been having this big debate for the last like month and a half about whether NFTs should be categorized as an art on Wikipedia.
What do they categorize it right now? Like...
So they came to a consensus yesterday that they shouldn't. They're not going to be categorized as art at the end of the day, NFTs aren't art, you know? Because it's like you
Hmm.
look at a lot of them and they like, are they? I don't know. Are they artistic? Yeah, but are they good? No. But is it like art? It's not. You know. I don't
Yeah,
know. I thought that was
I guess
interesting.
it's like the utility of it is not necessarily just to appreciate it as art, right? I mean,
Yeah, the
yeah, it's
NFT.
a cryptocurrency. So I mean, it, yeah.
It's like everyone coming out with their own NFT, or it's like you see like, dude, even like Post Malone. I mean, it's like that guy's got so much money, and he's still doing. He had a music video, and then I
Yeah.
think it was like MoonPay paid to put like a thing on his phone. So in the music video, he's like buying a Bored Ape or whatever, and it's just like, dude, like, why do you need the extra money? You know, to just whore yourself out like that. I just think it's so
Well,
trashy.
yeah. Well, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
sure. I mean, he's got a lot of money, but I can understand. Like the difference between like a celebrity, the amount of money they have, and, like an actual like billionaire. Like they,
that's true.
So I mean, I understand that like why he would do that. I personally wouldn't do an NFT and sell it using like my name and platform or whatever.
Hmm.
Uh, just not for me. And I don't like. Not only do I not know about that much about them, but from what I do know and like what I've seen, it doesn't really seem like the best idea
No,
to put one out. And yeah.
you just see people getting ripped apart when they do it.
Mm.
Um, what else was I gonna say? So, Oki, when you starting up the live stream again, man? You used to live stream a lot, and then it's like I don't know what happened. You know, you just
Oh,
stopped
I'm gonna do one probably tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Covering all this. Yeah, I've been planning a big live stream, and I'm gonna probably do it tomorrow.
So, is there stuff that you didn't say here that you're gonna say in that live stream?
No, I mean I have clips and stuff prepared.
Oh, okay. That
For the
you
thing.
didn't want to
Yeah.
show here.
Well, I could have shown it, but I
I'm
don't
just
know if
kidding. I'm
you
just kidding.
like.
I'm just kidding. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. Oh man. Well, Oki, it was really nice having you on. If you guys have any questions, I have another like minute or two, and then I'll let you go, Oki.
Mhm. No, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Or if you
And,
want to stay on, you can stay on.
yeah, I don't know if
You gotta go.
people
You
in
gotta go.
your audience know, but yeah, we're like actually we're friends, and we hung out in real life, and when I was when I was in Orange County. So,
Yes.
and I've known you for like I feel like it's been over a year now.
Yeah, it's been like a year. Oki was
Yeah.
like one of the first people when I was on YouTube and I had like 100 view, 100 subs, and I was this little small guy.
Mhm.
Oki was like one of the first dudes that actually like hit me up on Twitter, and then like we started following each other and hanging out, and
You came on
we
my live stream, I remember.
yeah, I came on
Yeah.
your live stream. I
And
started
then like a
cussing.
date.
You got the stream banned. No?
That's not what happened, but um what's it called? Yeah, and then like a day or two later you joined our Discord group, and I was like, "Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I know this guy."
Yeah, that was fun.
So,
You're probably one of the coolest people I've met on YouTube, you know?
oh, thanks, dude.
'Cause you meet a lot
Yeah,
of people,
you're
and
really cool too.
there's a lot of people that are just out to like clout chase. You see it all the time. You know, people that are trying to reply guy and get in this guy's DMs, and it's all just to get some clout, and you know,
Yeah.
see a lot of that game.
Yeah, I try not to do that for sure.
We're
Like
still streaming after though. We're gonna go for like another like hour maybe. 'Cause I got some stuff to show you guys. If you guys want to stay. But okay, Oki. Well, I had so much fun when you came out to LA for VidCon. You came out, we got a picture
That
together.
was awesome.
You know what I was
Yeah.
thinking about actually? I was like, we never even took a picture together. And that's what made me
No,
mad.
we did. We did.
No. Just you and me.
Oh, yeah,
Mono
you're
y mono.
right. Yeah, we were in group photos together.
Oh, damn. It's great. Because VidCon's in July, I think, again, right?
Yeah, are you going? Well, you live like right next to it, right?
Right in
So,
my hood, homie. We're going
yeah.
down.
I don't know if if I'm gonna go again, because I mean it was just in October, so
No.
I might do next year.
I feel like if there's some kind of, I don't know. It's hard to do like a video together when it's like our type of content, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we got to figure something out. But Oki,
Yeah,
thank you so much
next
for coming
time.
on. Thank you so much for letting everyone know what the truth was and the time you almost got caught infiltrating a conspiracy. So I just want to say congratulations on Moist Critical and everyone else. I mean, I would have brought you on regardless, but still, that's so crazy to me. That's
All
awesome
right,
though. It's
dude.
awesome to get that recognition. So I'll catch you around,
Yeah.
Oki,
Yeah.
and then
Talk
we're
to you
gonna
later.
keep going. Peace.
Okay. All right. Bye bye, dude. Take
Peace.
care.
Take care. Call ended. What's going on? Okay, so we're gonna keep the stream going for a little bit. You know, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna chill, talk about some things. I love Oki. I've known the guy for so long. I mean, you meet a lot of people on YouTube, and Oki's one of the chillest. He's not this clout chaser. He's not gonna be like. Here's the thing: a lot of people wouldn't like be friends with me in the beginning because I had nothing, but Oki was cool enough to be friends with me from the beginning. And a guy like that takes a lot, you know. There's not a lot of people like that, and I'm glad that I found him early. And I just can't wait to see what else he puts out. Every video he's doing, man, this guy, he puts in so much effort and thought into that video. Like the alien thing, he was thinking about that a while ago. So we're going to still keep streaming, maybe for about another hour. We're going to hang out. I got some stuff to show you guys. So let me just pull it up in a minute. The stream's not over. Everyone's leaving. I'm just kidding. If you gotta go, you gotta go pee, you know? But we're just gonna pull up some stuff. So here's what we're gonna be doing going forward in the future. Here's a little housekeeping from me. So I like doing these streams. I think they're a ton of fun. Having different YouTubers on, people we talk about, whatever, whatever we want to talk about. So I'm gonna try to do this stream once a week on Fridays, on Friday afternoon, PST. That's where I'm at. So we're gonna be doing kind of like a stream like that. Uh, Next week I'm gonna try to bring on a pretty big YouTuber. You might have heard of him. Maybe you have. I haven't asked him yet. I still got to go ask him. And then we'll bring on a bunch of people, talk about their videos, what they're doing. I have so much fun with it because when I was on YouTube in the beginning, I would have loved to hear stuff like this. So, and here's the other thing. So I had a comment today. Someone was like, "Hey man, I had to unsubscribe from you because you put out inconsistently." And I felt bad. That was a sting to my heart because I try to put out stuff the best I can. You know, I don't like putting out half-ass stuff, but I realized that I need to put out more. So, starting to work with some people, we'll get some more videos out. I have one that should be out probably in a couple of days, and I'm going to be shooting for about one video every 2 weeks, and then go down to one video a week. And the content's going to be banger. I just got some help now that on some stuff I needed help at. Because you know what? I'm not an editor. I didn't go to editing school. I didn't go to that. I went to the school in the streets. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's do a watch party. You know what? I want you guys to watch it on his thing because I want him to get the views. Because here's the thing. You put out the video, getting amazing traction. Everyone's talking about it. And then YouTube age restricted that video, which is like a huge blow. Because it just means that you have to be logged in with a verified YouTube account to even watch it. And dude, the views just like stood still. And then he got it back up, unage restricted. Went from like 250,000 to like 400, wherever it's at right now. I bet that video needs to go to 1 million views. 2 million, easy. It's a great video. And hopefully he does something like that in the future where it's more of this kind of infiltration of something. You know, that conspiracy was so crazy. Like, I don't know. I just love stuff like that. And I feel like even doing a part 2 on that, there's a lot of potential. Or even going to like a flat earth convention and then saying how becoming a fake whistleblower for the flat earth. That's actually a really good idea. Mute the tab, not the video, though. We can watch it muted in the background. We can watch it muted. Here, I'm going to put it on right now. How does that sound? We can mute the video. We can kind of hang out, you know. But yeah, so more videos. We're going to be putting them out. It's going to be great. But here's the other thing. I hate when people just talk a big game and they don't go through with it. But things are in motion right now, actively, to keep it going. Let me just pull it up real quick. But I'm glad you guys like Oki, because I love that guy. He's just so much fun. I mean, what was the craziest part for you guys? His cover is blown. His cover is blown 100%. But you know what? It was worth it. It was worth it. I was actually interested in the, you know, kind of the fallout from the whole thing. I know that James Rink, the guy that led the whole thing, was... Yeah. It just like the whole, like, kind of fallout. And I'm glad it didn't get any worse. I mean, you know, maybe, I don't know. But I don't think anything worse is going to happen. Because it's like, what are you going to... Like, you gave that interview freely in Nevada, which is like, I don't even think you need consent to film. And it's like, that's what you said, you know? I don't know. Like, Borat did a whole film about punking people. So this is not a big deal. Yeah, someone took their time out of their day to write a comment saying, hey man, I unsubscribed because you're not consistent enough. It made me think. But I've been getting this thing in the process for the last like month and a half. So I'm super hyped on it. Because it's more videos for you guys. Everyone's going to have so much fun. It's going to be a great time. And I like doing these live streams. They're a lot of fun for me. Like, next week we could bring on Night Docs. Thinking about, you know, talking to him. Maybe Barely Sociable. That'd be tight. Because I know that dude doesn't talk in a live stream. Not that he doesn't talk. But, I want to interview him, you know? I really do. Because there's a lot about him to where he's gotten at that is so interesting, you know? And I feel like other YouTubers can learn from that, or just people in general. It's just interesting. Like, how do you make that change from working a regular thing to just doing full-time YouTube, you know? He's an interesting dude. He's always got stuff in the works. So I really like him. But Monster Mash? Okay, what's this obsession with the Monster Mash? A good song around Halloween for like, maybe like a week or two I can listen to it. But after that, I'm done with it. I can't deal with it. It's too much for me. Okay, now let me just pull something up real quick. It's going to take me a little bit of a minute. But how's the music sounding? Is it too loud? Is it good? Never seen a channel that's both. For real, I will watch people that sub to whenever they upload, even it's been months. I mean, I get it. You know, like, I understand people are, you know, they're still going to watch, and that's fine. Like, let me know. You know, I'm going to watch. The minute that guy puts out a video, I'm dropping everything I'm doing. You know, I'm going to watch it. But, you know, I guess for myself, I just like putting out. I want to start putting out more stuff because it just, I kind of feel. I guess when you work on something for a long time, you kind of just get like so into it. And you just build it up for yourself. And I'd rather just put it out, you know. And it just makes better videos for everyone to watch. That's all I want to do. I just want to make fun videos for everyone to watch and be entertained. And then just look at me and be like, look at that guy. Look at that guy. Go, he sucks so hard. I'm gonna unsubscribe because he didn't put out enough. Oh, okay, let me pull this up real quick. So, honestly... Wait, give me 1 minute real quick. 1 minute real quick. You know what I think would be tight? A metaverse video. What do you guys think about that? Metaverse. There is no monster mask conspiracy. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. There definitely is. Okay. Give me 1 minute real quick. I had a list. Give me like 1 minute. 1 minute. Keep saying 1 minute. Keeps going by. Yeah, I mean, I get people will still be around, you know, like regardless. I mean, actually, no, I don't take anyone for granted, you know. It's like, you know, you got to keep people around. You got to put good stuff out. You know, even doing this live stream on here, I was a little bit kind of like, people don't do live streams in their main channels because, you know, they're afraid of whatever happening. But at the end of the day, I love Oki so much, and He did such a good video, you know? I mean, he spent so much time. Like, I'm not, like, no joke, literally back in August, he was on here talking about that video, just all of the work he had to go through. It was absolutely insane. But let me find... Actually, you know what? You guys heard of the Von Dutch conspiracy? You guys know Von Dutch? You know those hats that all the celebrities would wear? Von Dutch? Here, I'm gonna pull it up right here so you guys can see. Okay, the Von Dutch conspiracy. Okay, so there, I don't know if you guys have Hulu or not, but if you don't, you honestly should, because Hulu is great. And they put out this documentary that's, it reminds me of a lot of that Fire Festival movie. Remember how Netflix made their own Fire Festival and then Hulu had, you know, they made their own as well? So for this one, they don't have the competition, but it's such a captivating story. It's about the owner of Von Dutch. Because if you look at Von Dutch, you know, it's a very kind of like that rat rod, you know, hot rod kind of a vibe. You know, like they were back in the 50s. The dude was a pinstriper on the sides of all the cars. And how does a brand go from being this thing for like macho dudes, you know, that are just making hot rods, to being the item that was worn by like Paris Hilton, head to toe, Justin Timberlake, all of these celebrities? Like, how did it get from that to that, and then it just died off? And I don't want to give away the movie, but there's a murder at the end of it. The guy that started Von Dutch and led it to where it was, murdered someone else, which is absolutely crazy. But the brand had like this huge high ground for like 2 years. Everyone was buying it. Everyone was going crazy. They were making hundreds of millions of dollars. And they were talking about how just the brand died because of Paris Hilton. Like, literally. That's what they were saying. Brand died. It was just her wearing it. And then she did that Simple Life show where they were wearing Von Dutch head to toe. And that's what killed the brand. But it was just interesting. Like, what does it take to build a brand to that kind of size, you know? Because it is insane when you think about it. Like, you know, when people come out with t-shirt companies, and all that Von Dutch was they just had a hat. They just had a hat. The stupid patch. And they talked about that they would just make the patches. They would just buy hats and just glue them on. That was it. And that was the hat that they would sell for $70 that, you know, 50 Cent and Jay-Z, you know. Jay-Z used to wear Von Dutch, believe it or not. Is Hulu? But yeah, it's a great documentary. I love that. I was actually going to do the story of Von Dutch. I have it in my idea list. I have a big list. If any idea comes up where I'm like, I want to know more about that, I have this big list. I write everything down. And Von Dutch was in there months ago. And then this documentary was so good, I was like, you know what? I can't compete, you know? I am a secretly Hulu promotion. Actually, out of all the things that I would give up everything else for my YouTube Premium subscription. I would never get rid of that. I love that. Once you go YouTube Premium, you can't watch anything else the same ever again. Okay, so here's the thing. Like I said, I keep a big list of ideas. You know, trying to see what's new, you know, what's a good video. People hitting me up, sending me crazy things. If you guys got any crazy things, just, you know, let me know. Okay, let me just pull it up real quick. Dude, a whole glass of Coke. Dude, when they come there and you're ODing and you're on the floor convulsing like a fish and your eyes are just... And the first thing the police see, they're like, was there drugs on the table? No. There's just an empty glass and Vince Vintage's stream is playing. That's not on me. That's not on my blood. My blood. Your blood is not on my hands. I didn't know what I was going to say there for a minute. Okay, so I got a couple ideas in the works right here. I'm going to talk about them real casual. You know, nothing crazy. Okay, so I was watching a dentist ad the other day. Oh, wait, no, toothpaste. You know, and they always say, #1 dentist recommended toothpaste. Who decides that? Who are these dentists? Do they send out these big studies and they decide, oh, Colgate, that's #1? How are they all #1? That confused me, at least. I didn't really know. Like, who decides that, you know? Because I saw a Colgate ad, dentist #1 recommended, and then I saw one for Crest. It said the same thing. It's like, what is that? So that's a video. I thought that was great. For real, I never see anything besides the hat. The hat? What do you mean the hat? Okay, we got... Wine companies are notorious for doing this. So if you ever go buy a cheap bottle of wine and you look on the label, anything that's below 10 bucks, they will always put these like crests on the wine, like crests and like medallions, and they print them all over the label, and they say top, you know, top percent one, like top one wine from wine tasting, you know, club or whatever it may be, and they put all these little awards. All of those companies that rate the wines, and they always give them like the #1 rating for cheap wines. We're talking here. They are owned by the company that's selling the wine. So the company makes all of these fake like non-profits that are like these wine tasters or whatever, and then they give out awards to their own wine. That's how messed up it is. Why is that allowed? It's an ingenious idea, though. Because I'm going to do a video about that, you know? Because how many of these companies are out there, you know? Like here, I'm just going to pull it up right now. Wine. Cheap. Wine awards. Company that owns wine. Ugh. I gotta do more research into it, but I know it's a real thing. I've read this huge thing about it, and it was all about this. Okay, another one. Vladimir Putin, $50. Dude. Thank you, man. That's crazy. Thank you so much. It is, oh, wow, it's Vladimir Putin. You make good vids, bro. You deserve some love and some more subs. Thanks for the live stream. Glad I could make it. Bro, got you. We got you in here. I can't believe Vladimir Putin actually came through. That's where we're at right now. Vladimir Putin's watching the stream. Now you could say, I'm watching the same stream as Vladimir Putin. That's about to invade Russia, or the Ukraine. You guys have, I don't know. I have to sing the anthem now. But yes, it's like paying for bot viewers. So these people will... transition. Okay, so these companies literally... Wait. Oh, I got the super soldier thing. Wait. Is it showing the super soldier? It's all good. Putin putting up the big bucks. That's what I was saying. Okay, so what we're talking about. So these wine companies. I thought this was just such an interesting video. The really cheap wine companies. You look on the labels. They have all these awards. Like, let me just go back to the thing. Real quick. Okay, we can do cheap wines. Pictures. Go to pictures. No. You know what it is? It's the box wine. The box wine, they put all these awards. Okay, so right here. Okay, so you see this little thing? That little award? Where else is it? They put all these awards on the box wines. If you guys ever go to the store and you see them, like that little thing right here, it'd be like wine, blah, 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 50 best buys. All of those companies that make the wine, make these companies on the side. They're like these non-profits, or I don't know exactly what they are. And then they fake review all of this wine, and you pretty much like pay into this thing, and then they give you the review, and you could put the little medallion on. But it's like a total racket, you know? And I just thought that was crazy. Because it's kind of like the dentist thing. Maybe the video would be about like toothpaste, or just buying fake clout, you know? Like, do dentists really recommend Crest? Do dentists really love Sensodyne toothpaste? I don't know. And then the big wine is going to come after me. We can't mess with big wine. No, we can't. Okay, next video. I thought this was interesting. So I thought about, I saw a thing on Reddit, and it said, remember the whole thing with the baker who didn't want to make the gay couple a cake? And then they took it to the Supreme Court, and it was like this huge thing. I thought to myself, why would you want a cake from someone that doesn't support you? Like, why would you want a cake? Like, wouldn't you think they would spit in the cake or something else like that? That's what I would think. I'm like, the guy said no, and then I got him to do it the second time. Why would I want him to make my cake? So I was kind of looking into it a little bit, and I guess it wasn't the gay couple that sued that sued the baker. I guess they made a complaint to some like city government about this. They were like, "Oh, this baker didn't want to make us a cake," and then that city thing went to like the state thing, and then the state thing like took it to the Supreme Court, and it was all because one of the mothers of the couple was like, "You guys need to take it to the city and try to get something on their business license because you can't be doing that kind of stuff." But I thought that would be interesting because I've always heard about that, but even it's kind of a little aspect, going into some of these court cases, like, oh shit. No VPN can keep you safe. Not if you have Shark VPN. I'm just kidding. Honestly, maybe one day I'll take a VPN sponsorship, and I'm going to tell you right now, they're all BS. When they say, we're advocating for your privacy through a VPN, only do things through a VPN because it's super secure. Well, the reality is that maybe if you're like at a public Wi-Fi hotspot, yeah, you could use a Wi-Fi, or you could use a VPN. But the protocol standards that are used for website, HTTP. So if you look on the top of a website, you'll see like a lock. And that lock means that it's encrypted. But maybe like 2015, it didn't used to have that lock. And if it didn't have that lock, that meant it was unencrypted. So you could set up a thing and you could sniff the network and you can see the traffic going in and out of a network. So you could go to a public hotspot, set up this thing that sniffs the traffic, and then I could see all the websites that you're looking at because it didn't have the lock there back 5 years ago. Back then, you needed a VPN, for sure. But then today, now that everything has that lock, that means that when it goes over the network and you're trying to sniff the internet traffic, that because it has that lock, it's encrypted. It's already doing what a VPN does, which is encrypt the traffic. So instead of the VPN doing the encrypting, it's the website doing the encrypting. That's why VPNs are a scam. And then also, too, they have these big logs, and it's this whole big thing. But, yeah, I want to make a video of it, but then I kind of don't. Because it's like, why I don't take YouTube sponsorships would get a ton of views. Yeah, but then what if I did? Okay. I'm just kidding. I can't believe Vladimir Putin came in here. He's hanging out with you guys right now. We're all having fun. Let's just throw up some, I don't know, whatever they call that, Okay, so here's another idea. I heard about, from a little bird, that in Iceland, so Iceland's small. There's like 300,000 people. It's a small population. I mean, that's like the size of a city here. They have an app that if you're dating people, everyone downloads this app, and it tells you if the person you're about to hook up with or talk to or potentially date is somewhat related to you. Because there's such a problem of like incest happening in Iceland. Because that's how small the population is. No one's really coming in to live in Iceland. Stephen Jones exactly hit you on the nail. Vladimir Putin is in the chat. I'm surprised you speak English so well. That's awesome. Russia, I love you too. I just thank you so much. Now I could buy a really cool NFT. Oh, why I sold out. Okay, yeah, so Iceland's got this app that if you're in the dating scene, so imagine you're on Tinder, you're dating people, and before you go hook up with them, you're like, hey, what's your full name? I want to look you up on it's called like Icelandia. I got to look you up on Icelandia, and see if we're related or whatnot. And then it's like, I don't know. That's just a weird thing. But I guess it's a huge problem there. They literally came out with an app, and this is like back in like 2013 that they have this app to tell if anyone's related to one another, because it's just so small there. If there's more to the story, or you can go interview Icelanders, I'd watch it. Yeah, there's a lot more to the story. That's just like I have these like rough things, and then I have to do the legwork on adventuring into it. But I think one of the stories is like, I know it's true. I looked into it. It's totally true. And then looking up, like, is this such a big problem that they had to come out with this? And I think it was the government that came out with this app because they don't want people to inbreed, you know? But yeah, I thought that was interesting, you know? Okay, next one. Pharmaceutical advertisements. Why are they allowed in the United States? When you think about it, it's pretty messed up. There's like 2 countries on Earth that allow pharmaceutical advertising. So here's the thing. I'm watching a lot of Jeopardy recently. I've been going through, watching Amy Schneider just absolutely kill it. Not even like win by a little bit. She's winning by a lot. She's like the 3rd most winning winner of all time. So we're watching Jeopardy. Ads come on because it's regular TV. And the amount of ads for like just sickness is just like, it's just disturbing. It just, like, I don't get it. Like, they're like, if you have like a mental blah 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 blah, if you have memory regression, you could take these pills. If you got shingles, you could take this. If you got blah 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 blah, all of these things. And then you listen to like that little part where they put like the really eye-catching video, and then they talk really fast about all like the messed up things. Why is that legal? You know, it's kind of wild, at least to me, you know? So I was thinking about that. If you guys like that, give a little snaps in the chat, you know? Next one. You ever heard of Lauryn Hill? You know Lauryn Hill? That, what do they call it? The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, the critically acclaimed album that came out in the 90s that changed the rap game forever. So, I heard from someone, and I looked this up into a little bit. Do I need a smoke break? Smoking what? I'll smoke what Vladimir Putin smokes. I'll smoke that all day long. Whatever Vladdy smokes, I'll smoke. Each sold separately is the worst. Okay, what else? Okay. Oh, okay, here's another one. Supreme. Yes, the nonstop cable and the car ads. I mean, so the pharmaceutical thing just drives me nuts. Like, how can they allow this, you know? Like, you're watching TV. I'm not there to get educated. There's no doctor to... I don't know. Sounds crazy to me. Downfall of Supreme. That's an interesting one. Yeah, why did they allow pharmaceutical ads on TV but not tobacco? Exactly. And then they always put, like, in the risks for, like oh... we were listening to one ad. I forgot what it was. Or it was diabetes. It was diabetes type 2. It was, like, this medication for it. And they said one of the warnings was that you could have a puffing and swelling in your perineum, which is your gooch, for a franker term. Why would I want to take something that makes my gooch swell? Why? Disgusting. Like, I don't know. I saw that. I was like, dude, why? How could they show this on TV? You know? And I get it. You got type 2 diabetes. I mean, it's a terrible thing, you know? But still. Okay, so here's about Lauryn Hill. If you guys don't know her, look her up. Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill. Talking like Trump right now. Okay, so Lauryn Hill, you know, she was in the Fugees. Really amazing, talented singer, all this kind of great stuff. She's only had one really good album. They just call her like a one-album wonder. She hasn't made a hit ever since, like, the 1990s. And, you know, people were kind of, not like, why? But she's only done one really good album, and it's a great album. So, there was a guy that came out about 4 years ago, and he's a singer-songwriter, really famous guy. And he started suing Lauryn Hill because he wrote, like, all of these songs on that album with all of these other artists that wrote them, and they weren't credited for the work, and they weren't paid for the work. and she stole all of the credit. She stole all of the credit for that album. People say that album's like an absolute masterpiece, and it's a great album, don't get me wrong. But the problem is and then she lost like 2 court cases and had to pay undisclosed settlements to these singer-songwriters for, stealing their stuff. But she gets credit for like, oh, she made this great album. But the reality is she stole songs. And she's very unlikable. Very unlikable. I've read stories where she'll be on, she'll be going live at a concert and people pay just to her concert. People pay good money, they're there. She'll be like 2.5 hours late because she doesn't feel ready yet. And I guess that's one of the things when you bring her on is, there's no time for her to come on. She feels when she comes on. Message retracted. Why was it retracted? Kind of weird. I'm sorry, Vladimir Putin. I'm sorry it was retracted, but it's all good. Okay, yeah, so that was like one of the big things was that's about Lauryn Hill. She was just this lady, great singer, stole all these songs. No one ever got credit from it, but it's all good. Okay, next one. Downfall of Supreme. Another video idea. So she didn't say okay, so then there was a big thing people about, oh, she'd rather have her kid die than a white person buy her album. And I looked that up. It's not true. It's not true. She went into an interview and they asked her that straight up, and she said, no. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But I thought that was interesting, because I liked Lauryn Hill. She's great. Okay, so Supreme. We've all heard about it. Everyone's, lusted for it. That box logo. Now, I remember when Supreme was like 2012, Tyler the Creator, Earl Sweatshirt, Odd Future Wolfgang. That was what was up, Everyone was rocking, they wanted Supreme. It was cool. It was cool in the 90s, but I was born in the 90s, so I didn't really, live through that. So Supreme at, 2015 was, at its peak. Everyone wanted it. Everyone was paying crazy money for it. And then it was like with Rice Gum. So the story is, I don't know if you ever heard about, Supreme, they do all these collaborations. They make, a squirt gun with Nerf, and it's like a Supreme Nerf gun. And then, they make, fire extinguishers and baseball bats and, ski masks. They make all this kind of cool stuff. So one of the running joke for the longest time was that if Supreme made a Supreme branded brick, people would buy it in droves. I think it was something like that, yeah. So they came out with the literal brick. It's a red brick that is a Supreme brick. Here, I'm gonna pull it up right now. Supreme brick. Okay, so it's an actual brick that says Supreme. So if you guys don't know about Supreme, it's like a skate company, and then everyone was wearing it. A box logo hoodie costs $200, and it's impossible to get one. There's always lines for every drop they do. It's super exclusive, So when they came out with this brick, people bought it. Super popular. But then what happened was that the brand became uncool within a matter of a couple years. And it was the brick. It was, what else? I think a lot of it was Rice Gum, and a lot of these big YouTubers that started just buying all the Supreme, rocking it, all their stuff, talking about how much they dropped on it, and the fact that it was so easy to make fakes of all this stuff that, that's kind of a video. I don't know, something like that. Okay, so here's a crazy story. I don't know if you guys have seen. Okay, so the Wikipedia video, the moderator that wrote 80,000 pages of titties. You guys have heard of that? I'm sure you guys have heard of it. Right? Have you guys seen the video I did? It's 4 minutes long. It's about this moderator that he wrote 80,000 pages of titties, and no one knows why he did it. So if you look at this guy in real life, it's like a total dork. Neelix Wikipedia. Okay, so that's the guy right here. So he's this kind of dorky looking type dude. So I had someone DM me, and they said, I know Neelix, and his actual name is blah, 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 blah. And they said he went to my college. He was the librarian at my college in Toronto. And then he sent me his like school, like it was like a picture of like all of the staff working there, and Neelix was in that picture. And I was just like, oh my god, dude. This dude knew him. He actually met this guy, knew him. And he was like, dude, he was such a weirdo. But I mean, he was just off, you know. He was librarian. He's like a librarian technician, blah, 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 blah. But it's such a trip that, I don't know, it's a trip because it's like, no one really knew what happened to this guy after he left Wikipedia. And then I guess he's just working at a library as like a librarian technician, which is, you think about it, and it's very similar to Wikipedia, doing that same categorizing. And but I just thought it was a trip. It's like this dude that like I spent all this time, you know, reading about, and then this guy actually met him, you know, met him and knew him. That was a fun video. I love that video because it's so interesting, you know. I don't know, it's just a wild story. Wikipedia in itself is so, there's like so many weird things in the Wikipedia space. Like what does it take for an article to be listed? Like there's all these like regulations and, you know, the things that they decide. Like, I don't know, there's like this whole culture on Wikipedia that is just, they talk about it on there, they live on there, and that's all that they do. And there's so much drama within it. And, you know, one of those stories, like I got it, it was from, you know, Wikipedia. There was like a story about it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. And I started looking into it a lot more, and it's pretty wild, the vibrant culture on Wikipedia of just like all the, I don't know, it's just like weird, like you really got to be dedicated to it. But I thought that was interesting. That's just me though. The titty guy's a weirdo. That's what I heard. Someone told me he's a weirdo, you know. But it's like, I'm a weirdo, you know. It's like everyone's a weirdo, you know. The Neelix guy, the Wikipedia titty moderator, that guy. But I just like that someone hit me up and actually took the time to be like, hey, dude, I saw your video and I went to school with this guy. He's here. And then I found his name from somewhere else, and then yeah, it just like all matched up. And then I found all these pictures of him like working in the library, and I was like, dude, no way, it's actually him, dude. I like those videos about internet histories that seem superficial, but they go down the rabbit hole. I love those videos too. They're so much fun, but the problem with those is there's just not a lot. I know it's not that there's not a lot. I don't know. I feel like a lot of them just get like done to death. And I like the Wikipedia one because no one had done that. But you know what's wild is, you guys know Barely Sociable? Like, you know, he does like dark mystery, you know, like kind of stuff like that. Like, hey, what's up? It's Barely Sociable here. So, Barely Sociable sent me, he like DM me and he's like, yo man, I got this topic I think it'd be great for your channel. About this guy, Neelix. And he posts 80,000 images or links of titties. So I take a look at it. We go through it. We go through the whole thing. And I'm like, dude, this is a great video. I'm going to do it. And he's like, thank you so much, Vince, for getting it done. And then after I made it, you know, Justin Wang was like, oh, dude, Barely Sociable told me about that idea too, but I just never did it. I was like, oh, dude, like, I don't know. I was just stoked. But he found that, I mean, that's how good of a sleuth Barely Sociable is on the internet. Always just looking at stuff, you know, just always, it's got like the word on like so many different things. So I think trying to bring, I want to bring different YouTubers on here. We all talk, have a good time. Anomaly documentaries. Bring them on here. I'll be great. You know, what's up? How you doing, man? New subscriber Vladimir Putin sent me. Oh. My God! Vladimir. Thank you. Thank you, Brian Preston. Much appreciated for the $20. Hey, wait, what is this music? Brian Preston. Is Brian Preston a agent of Vladimir Putin? Maybe it's that. I don't know. If we're voting on video ideas, I'd vote pharmaceutical. Yeah, the titty guy video is bringing a lot of people, you know? And I don't know. I guess it's just trying to find stuff like that, you know? Yeah, Wang is super tight. I like Wang. But it was just funny that, like, Barely Sociable, like, passed the idea off to a couple people and no one decided to do it. And then I did it. I was super small. And then it became, you know, it was like it's a big video. Yeah, Anomaly will come on. It'll be great. Okay. Yeah, the pharmaceutical advertisements, like, why are they allowed in the United States? It's because it's insane. Like, no other country allows it. Why do we allow medications to be sold online? Or, you know, if you can't, like, how can I not sell cigarettes on TV, but I could sell a drug that will make my perineum swell? Because what? Why is that allowed? You know, you tell me. Okay, next one. Have you ever heard about CTE in the NFL? So CTE, here, I'm gonna... Okay, so the NFL, the North American Football League or whatever. You know, football, not soccer, football. So they've been having this problem of players getting CTE. And it's chronic traumatic I can't pronounce it, but it's called CTE. And CTE basically is a disease that degrades at the brain. And it's terrible. It is a tragic thing. Now, the worst part about CTE is that there is no cure for it, and they can't diagnose it until after you're dead. So, I don't know, like that Aaron, the guy that was, that killed those people, Aaron, I think his name was like Aaron whatever. He was like a professional football player, and then he went on this like rampage, and then he killed himself in prison. So when they autopsied his brain, and he had CTE, and it was really advanced. And there's been all of these football players that have been, you know, after they, like, there was a recent murder from this football player, like, murdered his wife and his 2 kids and then killed himself. This is like a month ago. Autopsied his brain. Guy had CTE. And the worst part about CTE is that it basically makes you just get this, like, enrage. Like, you just get, like, this anger, like, you've never had any control of it. Like, it's just this terrible thing. Get super angry, super pissed off. And they don't know about it until you're dead. And it's from getting too many concussions. So the NFL knows about this, CTE. And it's pretty bad. Like, they did this autopsy of 210 football players after they were dead. And 195 of them had some form of CTE. And it's from repeated concussions. Yeah, Hernandez. So this is bad for business. Because if, you know, people were going to get CTE from playing football, like, football's done, you know? They're not gonna, you can't allow something like that. So, back in 2006, there was a football player, he was, like, Hawaiian, and he just had these crazy, just mental problems, like, he just couldn't handle it. And he killed himself, and in a suicide note, he said, he's like, take apart my brain, autopsy it, because I don't know what's wrong with me, but there's something wrong with me. They autopsied his brain, and they found CTE, you know, in there. So the guy that autopsied him went on this crusade of getting all these autopsies done on these football players and MMA and all of these, you know, very concussive sports, and found out that there's all of this studies, you know, that he basically made the study that was like, CTE is caused by playing in the NFL. This is terrible. We're literally killing people. It's not good. And the NFL suppressed all of his studies. They sued the fuck out of him. Did all this legal jujitsu to kind of make it. And pretty much the NFL did this massive cover-up for the last 10 years about their players getting CTE. What do you just stream into? What do you mean stream into? Well, we're talking about CTE. So it's a big problem right now in the NFL. And they've been trying to cover it up. And recently, there's been a lot more conversations about it, especially with that other football player who... I don't watch football, so obviously, you know. But I looked into this because it's an actual cover-up from the NFL that's doing this. There was even a documentary that was made, type in, like, CTE cover-up, and there's all of this stuff about it. So right here, The Atlantic, NFL's concussion cover-up. So then the NFL has been paying for all of these studies to be done that show that CTE doesn't get in the, that CTE isn't caused by the NFL. It's caused by other things. And it's just, they've been doing all this stuff, like truly trying to dilute the message. And recently people have been coming forward about it and are like, no, this is like one of the crazier things was they said for kids that they autopsied that played high school football, they had CTE. It was like, I think it was like 30 or 40% of the time they had CTE, which is insane. I mean, it was absolutely insane. Yeah. Will Smith made a movie about it, but it was so bad. And it's all, like contact sports. Like, I think it was like MMA fighting is like a big one. Boxing, stuff like that. So I thought this would be a pretty interesting video because it's just a crazy issue right now. I mean, this, when people put videos like, oh, it's the cover up. This is like a legit cover up, And I haven't really seen, like, NFL tried to intimidate scientists studying the link. So they've spent like all of this money. So then the NFL actually lost a big lawsuit about this. This was like a year ago, I think. And they're paying out $1 billion. It's like 1.1 billion in settlements for players that have CTE. They're paying it out to the families after, But the NFL pulls in like $4 billion a quarter or something. It's like something crazy like that. They got the money, But it's just a question to ask of like, should we allow this, I mean, they're doing it willingly to their own bodies, but maybe we need to know the science a bit further, like people that do professional boxing or fighting, you're going to get screwed up. You're going to get, that corny or whatever they call it. You're going to get that stuff, but they know that going into it. But if people are going to play football, but yeah, there's a big cover up. I thought it was interesting. Oh, whoa. Oh, I don't know what those bikinis were. Sorry about that. But yeah, there's all this stuff about it. I thought it was quite interesting. So the CTE cover up, if you don't know. Next thing. Okay, this is going to be a little off from the left field, Yeah, the NHL, yeah, they're not as violent, They're not as like, I know they changed a lot of the rules for when you, I used to play hockey too, and it's crazy. I've forgotten everything about it. Like, yeah, I mean, they beat the hell out of each other, but they're not like purposely going like helmet to helmet, like, going like that. Okay, so here's a question I have for you guys. If you guys are over the age of 25, probably remember this. You had maybe 13 years old, you get a new phone. Get the T-Mobile Sidekick, because you love that thing. You get a T-Mobile Sidekick. And what's the first thing you do on it? You get a Sidekick, and you put a custom ringtone on it. Everyone put custom ringtones on their phone. Everyone did. Back in the day. You put on, like, Jay Beezy, put on Lil Wayne, whatever it may be. Even in The Office where Michael Scott, he's like, got the, like, it's Britney, bitch, and he's playing Lady Gaga. Everyone used to put custom ringtones in their phone. And then it just died out. I don't know when it died out, but somehow it died out. Something killed. And I was even reading that during this time when they were selling ringtones, they were making money hand over fist. Like, we're talking 11, like, billions of dollars the record companies are making from selling ringtones. And for them to sell ringtones actually kept them afloat. Because this is during the time that LimeWire, Napster was just taking so much of their revenue. So selling the ringtones actually kept these record companies afloat. And then I don't know when it exactly happened, but custom ringtones just completely they're not cool anymore. I mean, I still have mine set on my phone. I have a Careless Whisper. I bought it 10 years ago. I had my iPhone 4, I think. And then I play. It's great. It's great. But now it doesn't, They don't even have the store anymore. So I don't know what happened, you know? Do kids still have custom ringtones that I don't know about? Like, I don't know. But there was an entire business to ringtones that got killed off. And it was the business that kept the record companies afloat when they were ripping and stealing all of their stuff. So I thought that was kind of interesting, you know? Because what did happen to custom ringtones? I loved mine. Text messaging could be it too, but then people had like text messaging tones, you know? Maybe it's that, you know? Who knows? Maybe it's that. Get some water real quick. Okay, you guys know Deadmau5? I like Deadmau5. I think he's cool. Cool guy. Makes good music. So, if you've ever noticed Deadmau5, you might notice him. Deadmau5, he's got the ears. Wait. Wait. Just give me like 1 second. Dude, Kazaa was tight, but it's like I always got a virus. Yeah. You know who did a video really well was Nikki Jakey. And it was on torrenting. That video was supreme. Because he really kind of put in the risk you took in trying to download a song. Like, I don't know if it's going to be 8 Mile soundtrack, you know? Or I don't know, you know? I just remember the amount of time that you would have to spend trying to get the right song. And then for me, I was so always picky about, like, the quality of it. Like, because sometimes you get a song that sounds like it was recorded on, like, a mobile phone from 2005. I couldn't handle it. Some people were like, oh, it sounds great, it's still the song. But for me, it was like, no, I want that clarity, you know? I want that quality. Okay, so we're going through more ideas. The Harambe. Got Harambe, that's interesting, you know? Bob Lazar. You know what's funny is I've been on a whole Bob Lazar kind of like rant looking into him. I don't know, I have some doubts about the guy. You know, and I get it. Everything got erased from online that he did. You know, you can't find any of his stuff. But, like, the fact he said he was like, oh, I worked at a college and I wrote all this stuff. And, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the guy's maybe telling a really good story. Or maybe he's telling the truth. Like, I just don't know. I'm just not... I guess what it is I'm just not very convinced by it because it doesn't really affect me. I'm gonna be honest, straight up. Is there flying space cars today? No, there's not. You know, so why should I care? But here's what oh, you know what? Vladimir? That's a great idea. I was going to do the mega upload guy, Kim.com. Because that guy has lived a crazy life. You think he's full of it? Yeah, I think Bob Lazar's 100% full of it. Like, I don't know what the guy's smoking. I don't know what he's on. You guys know Bob Lazar, he's like this kind of nerdy type guy, and he came out and said that there's this grand conspiracy. Okay, so this guy came out and he said, I worked at Area 51 and I saw them with floating spaceships and maglev, all this crazy kind of stuff, and it blew my mind. And then he went around in the 80s and started telling people like, I worked at Area 51. They had these things that could read my hand and like sense my thing. And they had this flying anti-gravity car that could fly and all this stuff. He told this like really crazy story about it. And he's told the same story. He's really consistent with it. What is it? 50 years later, or 40 years later, he's still telling the same story. So he went on Joe Rogan recently, and then he like recounted the whole story of him working at Area 51. And then he says that like the reason he got asked to work there was because he went to Harvard or, you know, MIT and studied all these like crazy physics. But all of the records of that got deleted after he came out about Area 51. Do I believe it? I don't know. I tried to watch. There's a Netflix documentary about Bob Lazar. I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't watch it for more than like 20 minutes. It was pretty slow. Oh, human zoos from the 1800s. That's actually an idea that I wrote down. There was a guy that's actually it's an idea that I have because there was a man. He was in a human zoo in like 1910. I got it somewhere, but it was this. I read it was a New York Times did this amazing article about this guy, and you feel so bad for him because it's like 1910s. Ruby Rosa, what's that? Ruby Rosa? Who's that? Who's Ruby Rosa? A Dominican race car driver? Billy Mayer. UFO religion. Oh yeah, this stuff's pretty wacky. Yeah, I don't know. This stuff's interesting. You know, I do like the conspiracy stuff. It's you know, I guess here's my problem with it. A lot of the stuff is getting really like YouTube's getting cracking down on stuff like that. Like we were talking about earlier with Oki, it's like, you know, anyone that talks about any little like misinformation, YouTube is so quick to like block that video, even if you're talking about it like in a mocking way. It's just something I don't want to deal with. You know, it's a lot of trouble. You know, I want to do more of that Mr. Beast family friendly content. I'm just kidding. I do like Mr. Beast though. I respect the hell out of that guy. People think I hate him. I really don't. I don't hate him. I think he's a good guy. Dude's killing YouTube, you know? I watch all of his videos, you know? He's so entertaining. Bill Cosby, we already did that. Oh, this one. Okay. If you're gonna buy something on Amazon, doesn't matter what it is. You go on to the reviews, and it says, like, 5,000 reviews, and it's 5-star. Do you really trust that? Because if you look down in the reviews, all that you'll see is like these like copy and paste fake reviews like, oh, I got sent the product for free. Oh my god, it was super great. It was super awesome. Blah 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 blah. Like I really I like buying something on Amazon if it has maybe like 4 stars and maybe like a couple hundred reviews, and you could tell they're actually by people who bought the thing and it's legit. They're not saying, oh, I got it for free. Well, there's an entire industry of paying for fake Amazon reviews, and it is huge. Like, you wouldn't believe how big this industry is. And they use people from all over. I'm not talking just about, like, you know, in China where they have, like, thousands of phones and, like, shoe racks, and they're all, like, clicking. I'm not talking about that. They have these things set up with, like, their big, like, Facebook groups where you could join in, and then they'll, like, send you all this stuff for free, and then you leave, like, all these reviews, and then you, like, send it back after, and then it's just, like, this huge scam going on. Why do you think they hate them? Are you a Tiger Woods clone? Am I a Tiger Woods clone? I don't know. You tell me. What are the chances that 5,000 people could agree all on the same thing? Dude, I just can't believe we got Vladimir Putin in here. Just give yourselves a round of applause. Vladimir Putin himself is in here in the chat right now. Okay, exactly, right there. I only look at the 1-star reviews on Amazon. If the bad reviews were clearly written by idiots, it's a good product. Exactly. It's exactly what I'm saying. Because you don't trust it when that stuff, like, when you look at something, and that, you know, actually, you know what it is? They try to flood it with, like, just all of these, like, just poop reviews. Like, they did, like, a 5 stars copy pasta type thing. And then you look, like, at the recent reviews, and they're, like, 1 star, like, dude, this thing was, like, the worst ever. Like, I hate this thing. I don't know. It's made Amazon a difficult place to shop for me. Like, I was looking for some, like, some cables. And, like, I just didn't know what to do. Because it's, like, you look in the reviews, and they're all, like, oh my god, awesome, oh my god, awesome. And then you go in like the new reviews and they're like, literally this cable like frayed on like the second day. And that cable didn't even charge. It said it's Apple MiFi certified, but it's not. Like, it's just tough, you know? I don't know. And it's such an easy problem for Amazon to fix, but they choose not to. They just have all these just shit reviews, you know? I've already seen a video about the Amazon thing. Yeah, maybe you have. Maybe you just gotta send it in here, because I want to see it. Okay, the Theranos thing I was gonna do a while ago. I've read that book. It's called, what is it called? It's called Bad Blood. Excellent book. It's by the guy. Okay, so here's the crazy thing about Theranos. You've heard about it, Elizabeth Holmes. Crazy eyes. Talks with the deep voice. That's what everyone really says, and that's kind of annoying. Because the story of how Theranos became unraveled is so interesting. So the guy, okay, so one of the biggest investors into Theranos put in like, I think it was like 150 million, something absolutely nuts, is Rupert Murdoch. And Rupert Murdoch owns the Wall Street Journal. He owns like a bunch of newspapers, but he owns the Wall Street Journal. So when Theranos was going around saying they could do all this stuff and everything was great, the Wall Street Journal, there was one investigative reporter that had some doubts about it because he never actually saw it work, you know, all this kind of stuff. So he started to do a full-on investigation into Theranos. He started like trying to get like, you know, like looking at their documents and the machine and like talking to people at the company to see if this thing even actually works, because they were saying it totally works. So the guy is investigating in. He works for the Wall Street Journal. The guy that owns the Wall Street Journal is one of the biggest investors in Theranos. And Elizabeth Holmes knows the heat's on her from the Wall Street Journal. They're doing this big investigation. They're trying to get something. So she goes to Rupert Murdoch himself, like a billionaire, and tells him, get this investigative reporter off my ass. I don't want him looking into the company. And Rupert Murdoch just like looks her straight in the eyes and tells her, that's what they do. That's what I'm not going to stop the news. So this importer keeps looking into it further and further. He's the guy that unravels the whole story. And it was just like this whole tension between the guy that owns the Wall Street Journal was one of the biggest investors into Theranos. And the Wall Street Journal's like basically like tearing down Theranos, you know? And it's just a really interesting kind of dichotomy that happened. And it took place over years and all these screaming matches and yelling, all this kind of stuff. But that's a super interesting video, but it's kind of been done to death. But where it's been done to death is on that end of like, oh, she had a blood machine and that said it could do blood tests and it didn't. Fuck that. It's so boring to me. I don't know. Stuff like that's just so like, you got to get into it, you know? But not make it boring. But you got to get into it. And the Theranos thing, I think the more interesting part is not even the machine, how it didn't work, but it's like the owner of the Wall Street Journal, like his own company that he owns is tearing down his $120 million investment. He let it happen, which is good. You know, he wanted it to happen. He believes in, you know, good journalism. So the guy that broke Theranos down, and Theranos spent like all this money on attorneys to go after this investigative reporter. That's the guy who wrote that book, and it's about his whole documenting of the unraveling of Theranos. He's been following it for the last like 3 years. It's called Bad Blood. Really good book, and I think doing something like that a little more interesting, you know. That's kind of like the thing I see on YouTube. There's a lot of these videos that are very just surface level kind of stuff. And it is interesting, and I think that's something I want to do, because it's not, I don't know. Like, I even saw, they had, like, HBO documentary about it, and I was waiting to see it. I was like, oh, cool. Saw it the day it came out. And I was like, the book had way better detail. It talked about things that weren't even talked about in the movie. Like, the movie sucked, you know? I don't know. I don't know if people just don't want to read the book. The book's great. Like, I love the book. I got pestered for 2 years by email to withdraw bad reviews for cables once. That's even a great thing too, with the, these like reviews, like they pester these people to like review their stuff, take down a review. Like, why is that legal? Why is that allowed? I think it makes Amazon a terrible place for everyone. Got all these companies harassing you to take down your reviews. You don't even know what to buy because it's all fake. Okay, next idea. Here we go. You ever heard of the Toyota gas pedal? Remember that? Do you remember back in like 2008? Here, I'm going to pull up a thing right here. So, Toyota. Okay, so it's like 2010. Big call. There's like a highway chase that goes viral all over the news. And the guy's in the car, and he's like flying on the freeway. He's going like 120 miles an hour. And he gets on the call with 911, tells him, "I can't stop my car. I'm literally, I didn't, like, the gas pedal is like all the way down to the floor. I can't stop it. I'm just going. I can't do anything about it." Tell him change his gears. He couldn't change his gears. He would hit the brake. The car just kept going. Couldn't hit the brake. It was like this huge thing. The guy crashes. He kills everyone inside of the car. But on the call, he kept saying, the gas pedal is pegged all the way down. I can't do anything about it." So then, people start looking at Toyota. They start going into it. Toyota says, "Oh, it wasn't our fault. I don't know what happened. The gas pedal got stuck down. Maybe it was faked. They thought maybe he just held it down, just faked it." But because that video went viral, all of these people started getting their cars and going flat out on the freeway in Toyotas, and then calling 911 and saying, "I can't stop the gas pedal. It just keeps going. It just keeps going." And then they would get in a crazy crash. So there were so many of these things that started happening. There was actually a bunch of taxi drivers that drove Toyotas, and they actually started saying, "You know what? There's been some times where I'm on the road and the gas pedal just sticks and I can't pull it out and it just keeps going, and then I can like put my car in park and like stop it." So Toyota comes out and then says, "Done an investigation, and you know what it is? It's actually the floor mat. The floor mat slides up and it holds the gas pedal down, and that's why they can't go. It's not really our fault. But you know what we'll do? We'll change the floor mats." So they changed the floor mats for all these cars and everyone. And then what happened was the problem kept happening. It kept going on. These gas pedals would get stuck to the ground and they would just keep going. So then I think it was like Consumer Reports, or it was like these other scientists started looking into the car. And that car started having, basically, it's called drive-by-wire, where it's electric on the thing. So you're not actually like opening, you're not letting in more gas with like a stainless steel wire from the gas pedal. It's an electric circuit. And there was something with the programming of the car to where, I don't know what, was some kind of bug, but the gas pedal would floor it all the way down, but you weren't actually flooring it. So they had this huge problem, huge investigation, and then like Toyota spent like millions of dollars like trying to hide this from whatever. And then it was like 5 years later, they like finally got like a recall out, and it was like a pretty big deal. So yeah, they had to pay $1.2 billion for hiding unintended acceleration. So they tried blaming it on floor mats and all this stuff, but it was actually a bug in the software. But because there was like millions of lines of code, it was like impossible to find. Yeah, FBI put sales over safety. It was a huge story. But I thought this was quite interesting. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit hungry. So I think we're gonna wrap it up in a little bit. Vladimir Putin. Yes, the GM key ignition switch, Toyota, VW missions, Takata airbags, the biggest recall actually right now. Yeah, GM's got a lot of Here, this is actually one of the biggest recalls going on right now. It's called the Takata airbag. So Takata's a company that makes airbags from Japan. I think it's Japan, and they make airbags for like BMW, Honda, Mazda, GM, like everyone. Like everyone buys airbags from Takata. That's like the one company that makes them. So Takata has been having this problem where when the airbag goes off, what ends up happening is that there's shards of metal that within like the explosive device, and the people that get in a car accident get like killed from these like shards of metal from the airbag. So this was happening for the last like 5 years, and it was in cars that go like all the way back to like the early 2000s, had these airbags. When they would go off, there was shards of metal going into the people and killing them. So it's the largest recall in history. What is it? So there's a recall of more than 42 million cars. That's the biggest recall in history ever because of these airbags that are killing people with the shards of metal. So then they filed for bankruptcy, and they're still doing the recall to this day. So it's like every company, like we're talking Mercedes, BMW, GM, Honda, Ford, every company uses Takata airbags. So if you got like how can an airbag be taken back? Well, they just like take them to the dealer, and then it's like if you get in a car accident, you know, they like it's a replaceable part where they could take out the thing and then put in like a new airbag. So yeah, if you got like a I think it was 2017 was when they fixed the problem, actually. But this is this is a pretty crazy story. This is something I was thinking about doing as well. Because there's so many cars have had this recall. So you can see a picture right here. It's like shards of metal fly out. Imagine getting in an accident and you got shards of metal go coming out and just hitting you in the face. Ugh. So yeah, if you got an older car, I would look it up on the Takata airbag recall. Because I don't want you dying. I don't want you getting hit with explosives. Wait. How can an airbag be taken back? I don't know why it's retracting some of the messages. It's not me. I don't have a moderator in here. What's good, Vince? What's good, Spot Cam? Yeah, that's not me taking them down. I just want to be clear about that. I'm just... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, we have literally Vladimir Putin is in the room right now. And he got his message recalled. Why would he get it recalled? I don't know. You know, it's kind of weird. So, I'm going to wrap it up because I need to get some food. I'm hungry as heck. But I just want to say thank you guys for coming on in. Thank you to Vladimir Putin and to James. What was it? Brian Preston. And then the person that told me to buy an NFT. That person as well. Thank you guys for the super chats. I seriously appreciate it a lot. That was me who retracted it? Oh, okay. I thought it was me. I thought it was like some kind of like auto bot that was like moderating it or whatever. Okay, but did you guys have a good time in here? I had a great time. It was super fun. You guys have fun? I had fun. I had a great time. So, here's what we're doing. Game plan before I end it. What do we got for dinner? We're doing shrimp. We're doing shrimp with the delicious rice pilaf, you know? Super excited for it. It's gonna be so good. So good, you know? With the salad with the ginger dressing. So good. Okay, so just before we end this real quick. Every Friday or Saturday, I'm trying to do Friday at the same time, like noon. I'm going to be doing a live stream here on this channel. I'm going to have it prepared. I had a big problem with trying to get the live stream going, so I had to take down the old one, put up a new one. It was a huge pain in the butt. But we got uploads coming. Should have a video out this week. Or I should have a video out this Monday, actually, pretty soon. It's going to be stoked. I had a great stream. It was super fun. So just remember, every week, we're doing these streams right here on the channel. We're going to bring on YouTubers. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be super fun. So, peace. Wait, do you guys have any questions, actually, before we get done? Real quick. Cooking stream. Yeah, thank you, Vladimir Putin. It was really cool. Even in the middle of all that Ukrainian problems you're dealing with, you managed to still come through, you know? Thank you so much for that. Yeah, just get a squeeze of that lemon, and then like a little bit of just cracked pepper. It's gonna be great. Monster. Stop saying Monster Mash videos. I'm just kidding. Okay, but thank you guys so much for coming on. Every week, we're doing this stream, Friday or Saturday. Trying to hit for Friday. I'll let you guys know. So thank you guys for all the super chats. I really do appreciate. I wasn't even expecting that. I appreciate it a lot. So thank you guys. But you guys have a good Saturday. You know, it's a nice day today. Unless you live in the Midwest where it's snowing. If then, be safe. Vladimir's for me. That's cool. I can stay at his house if I ever go to Russia.